It's Thursday, May 7th. Today, increasingly out of reach. Why young people are having a harder time than their parents and grandparents breaking into the housing market, and what a new report says about the disparity. Also, town's council dissolved. What happens next for Winnipeg Beach after the community loses its elected representatives and the province appoints an administrator in its stead. Plus, no longer up in the air. What's in store for a St. Boniface landmark as a new housing development gets underway? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, Ainsley McPhail.
Thank you so much for being with us. Welcome back.
My allergies are nasty right now. I'm sure many other people are dealing with that because it hasn't been good. But anyway, we're going to talk about Emergency Preparedness Week today with Ainsley McPhail. Things that you need to keep in mind if there's flooding in the community or if there's a fire or any other emergency. You need an emergency plan for your home, for your family, your pets. You need medication. You need to think about all these things, and you need to have them ready in place in case it happens. So we're going to talk about that throughout the morning and what you need to have in your emergency kit. But the weather's still cool this morning.
But wait for it.
Okay.
It's going to improve. I am so excited about this. Yes, you're right. It is very cool this morning. In fact, it's one of the cooler mornings that we've experienced so far. The sun is up, though. You can see that little crack off on the horizon. There are a few extra clouds hanging over us, but they're not going to stick around. They'll be clearing throughout the day today, and that -5 will eventually improve and take us at least above the freezing mark, but it's actually going to do a lot better than that. The winds, they're light. They're out of the north just 2 clicks. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 81%. And yes, those heavier clouds that we're seeing right now, and that was the view off to the east where the heavier clouds still are lingering. But you can see off to the west how clear it is. And for most places along that western border, just the lingering clouds here through parts of the southeast and parts of the northeast as well might see a few extra clouds lingering. But as they clear out, increasing amounts of sunshine, increasing temperatures, light to moderate winds. A lot of things about today will be far more pleasant than what we've been experiencing over the past little while. Might see a few clouds through the overnight hours, or we might not see them. We'll be asleep, but we'll know that they're there. Tomorrow, though, mix of sun and cloud. Things will be improving, at least here in the southeast. Southwestern Manitoba might deal with a little bit of precipitation on the way for tomorrow afternoon. It actually looks quite active with the rain that could be moving in. Scattered flakes of snow still across parts of northern Manitoba, but an improvement with these temperatures, at least pushing us up into the double digits. Now, 18 degrees is normal for this time of year. We're still not reaching those numbers. Tomorrow, we should get a little bit closer, but at least those double digits will last through the weekend, and maybe some closer to seasonal temperatures waiting for us as we're looking ahead to next week.
Thank you, Terry. Younger Manitobans are living at home with their parents longer as housing prices continue to rise and the cost of living soars. A new report finds first-time home buyers are a lot older than previous generations. CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you why.
We're going to check out one of my listings on Clifton. It's 800 square feet, 2-bed, 1-bath. Perfect entry-level home.
For a first-time home buyer, price is king, followed by, can I even afford to finance it? Tyler Hall has worked as a Royal LePage realtor for 4 years. He's currently helping a homeowner list this house in Sargent Park. Hall says the Winnipeg real estate market is as hot as ever when it comes to new buyers.
We see a low supply of homes right now, so obviously a high demand. A lot of new entry-level buyers, so we're seeing things move really quick, and people are kind of expanding their searches to different areas or even looking outside the city.
Hall says homes in 2026 are flying off the market. Bidding wars and houses going over asking makes it difficult for millennials looking for a home.
Sometimes if it's a really nice house, everything's been renovated inside. I've seen places go 50 to 100,000 over asking price.
Case in point, he recently sold this St. Vital house for $100,000 over asking, and new data from Statistics Canada seems to support that, which is not helping first-time home buyers. The report breaks down census data from 1991, 2006, and 2021 across 8 major cities, including Winnipeg. Here, 25 to 29-year-olds living in Winnipeg with parents in 1991 to 2021 jumped from 14.5% to 31.9%.
That first-time homebuyer price range that we were used to, 5 to 7 years ago, that 200 to 350K price range, that's kind of gone now.
McPherson says the new range is $350,000 to $500,000. At those prices, new buyers have a hard time getting financing unless family members step in and help with the down payment.
People might see the list price at, $350 and think, hey, well, I can afford that. My pre-approval's good to $350 or $375. But then they're seeing it go for $400 or $425. So they're putting in offers and then just getting blown out of the water.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
According to the report, only Vancouver and Toronto were higher than Winnipeg when it comes to millennials living with their parents. A cyclist is recovering after being struck by a vehicle in the Transcona area early Wednesday. Police say the crash at Dugald Road and Ravenhurst Street happened around 5:30 a.m. Traffic on Dugald was down to only one lane and several police cruisers were on scene, while a pickup truck could be seen parked on the shoulder of the road. The man on the bicycle was taken to hospital in critical condition, but has since been upgraded to stable. The driver remained at the scene and spoke with officers. The crash is under investigation. A dangerous and frightening moment in Bismarck, North Dakota, where an apartment building collapsed as crews were battling a raging fire. Dozens of residents were forced from their homes, and it left one firefighter injured. Privacy watchdogs now say OpenAI violated Canadian privacy laws when training its ChatGPT model.
To initially train ChatGPT, OpenAI scraped vast amounts of personal information from publicly accessible websites.
This follows a 3-year investigation involving privacy commissioners from the federal government, BC, Alberta, and Quebec. It found personal data was collected too broadly and that sensitive information such as health conditions and political views was used. OpenAI has since agreed to strengthen safeguards and improve transparency. The federal government is in the process of drafting new AI legislation, but for now, lawmakers are relying on private companies to police themselves. Dozens of Saskatchewan communities are still reeling from severe floods. Record water levels are forcing people from their homes in some areas and destroying properties in others.
A lot of things floating around. Lost a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of engines that I got to worry about.
This homeowner's backyard is now underwater. A late snow melt has more than 20 communities in the central part of the province under local states of emergency. Now the water is receding, but the major cleanup and road repairs will take time and can't start until all the water washes away. Big news for the Canadian aviation industry. Airbus Canada has announced a massive deal to supply AirAsia with 150 of its Canadian-made A220 jets. Prime Minister Mark Carney was on hand for the announcement and to thank AirAsia's boss for choosing Canada.
Canada is once again building big at home and creating reliable partnerships abroad, including very much with ASEAN. So Tony, thank you. Thank you for the trust you're placing in Canadian workers, in Quebec, in Mirabel. You're choosing the best at exactly the right time.
Airbus makes the narrow-body planes in Mirabel, Quebec, just outside of Montreal. The multi-billion-dollar agreement with the low-cost Malaysian airline marks the largest single firm order in the manufacturer's history. A popular video game is being used to help teach and preserve Indigenous language and culture.
Carry this teaching as you continue.
It's called Turtle Island Trails and is being launched by the Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Centre. It's a first-of-its-kind learning experience, and it's built inside a fortnight. The game starts inside of a village where an elder tells the main character that they need to defeat the presence of a Wendigo, a folklore spirit. Players learn more vocabulary and teachings as the game progresses, and English slowly gets replaced.
Each challenge progresses. They learn more and more vocabulary, and then it starts to be pulled away. Like there's less English in the end and there's more Anishinaabe, and they learn it through context, through doing. They hear it through audio, they read it, they can also use a dictionary to reflect on if they forget the word, and then they have to act on that language by doing the challenge, and that's where the educational value is.
The game is designed for students from grades 5 to 12. Once it's published, it will be available free to anyone to play. The organization hopes to have the game available in all First Nations schools in the province by September. The skies in parts of southwest China are being lit up by one spectacular drone show. It features thousands of lit up drones moving in sync with music in the night sky. The highlight, of course, is during the finale, as the drones are organized to form a glowing red pomegranate meant to represent unity and mutual support among all ethnic groups in the country. Here's a look at what's happening right now on the Norwood Bridge. It looks like it's starting off pretty smoothly in this part of the city so far this Thursday morning. If you see any issues out there, please send us a text at 10400. Let's now go to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about emergency preparedness week and what we all need to do at home. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. We're at the Emergency Operations Center. Did you know that we had that here in the city, Manitoba? Well, the city is thinking of you, and you should think about yourselves as well during this week, whether it's a heat wave, whether it's a power outage, or even wildfire smoke. There are some things that we can do to protect ourselves. We're going to be learning about what should go in your 72-hour kit. We're also going to be shared the plan for climate change and how things have been evolving with that. So trust a valuable resource as it pertains to weather and evolving situations, and watch Your Morning Winnipeg as well.
Okay, yes, indeed. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's still a cool start to the day, but not for long.
That's right, not for long. We're going to see better temperatures than we've seen for the entire week so far. I mean, where are we at? It's Thursday. Yeah, okay, so I can say for the entire week because we've had 3 very cool days. And in fact, today is the coolest morning, but the improvements will come later on into the day as the temperatures climb a little higher than what they've done so far over the past few days. -5 is where we're sitting right now. The wind's still very light out of the west, only 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 81%. And the sun is up and it's looking good out here. I'm seeing some blue sky above. There are places where some heavier clouds still linger, but those will be clearing as the day goes on, with increasing sun, increasing temperatures, at least pushing us up into the double digits, which seems like a victory compared to where we've been over the past few days. With the last couple of days now, our daytime highs have been on par with what normal lows would be, 4 degrees being that seasonal low temperature, 18 being a normal daytime high. We're still not going to shoot that far today, although we might get a little bit closer tomorrow. The biggest win, I think, is going to be all of the sunshine, the light winds, and at least hitting double digits this afternoon. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
Good morning. 3 people were taken to hospital following a multi-vehicle crash near Winnipeg's Jefferson neighborhood Wednesday morning. It happened at the corner of Inkster Boulevard and Arlington Street. A tanker truck surrounded by police tape could be seen in the front yard of a home, along with a severely damaged white service van. A black van was also in the middle of the street with significant damage. Police say the 3 people taken to hospital have been upgraded to stable condition. The traffic unit is now investigating. An iconic water tower in St. Boniface will be moving, but not very far, when a new housing development starts taking shape. CTV's Daniel Homerson explains.
This 90-foot water tower is arguably one of the city's can't-miss landmarks. After all, it stood here in St. Boniface for the past 113 years.
It was the largest meatpacking facility in the British Empire. And so that water tower was primarily for fire protection.
Union Stockyards opened in 1913 with enough room for 450 rail cars of livestock, namely cattle and sheep. The yard closed in 1988, and the land will soon be home to the aptly named Water Tower District.
The next 12 months, you'll start to see buildings starting to come out of the ground this year. They've got a few groups ready to start construction at the end of this year. And by next year, you'll probably have about 700 multifamily units start up.
Development plans include housing, retail, restaurants, and parks. But for a time, the water tower itself's future was up in the air.
I'm staring at that water tower, and I was like, what am I going to do with this thing? So where am I going to put it?
A new city report says the tower will be dismantled and relocated. But Shindico Realty's Robert Scaletta says the structure isn't going far.
We're going to put it on one of the parks and have it a feature there, light it up, restore it as much as we possibly can.
Heritage Winnipeg's Cindy Tugwell says the developer's plan to save the tower is worth celebrating, especially because it doesn't have a historic designation.
This is a real positive milestone for the city to show that a private developer is doing this large new development, but is respecting the history of the area.
She says it will continue to serve as a reminder of St. Boniface's past and as a landmark for the people who will soon call this neighborhood home.
It gives you a sense of place, it gives you a sense of identity, And I think for this new development will give it character.
Daniel Homerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Canadian researchers are warning that some Russians and pro-Trump Americans are threatening Canadian unity by spreading disinformation about Alberta's separatist movement.
Why people don't see it is it's very covert. They write messages and have narratives that are close enough to something that you believe that you will send an article along without necessarily reading everything that's in that article.
The new report published says American influencers amplified separatist narratives, and a series of Russian websites aligned with the Kremlin are sowing distrust in key institutions. The researchers also warn such campaigns will intensify as Alberta heads towards a referendum on separation. More signs that one of Canada's weapons in the trade war with the U.S. is having a significant impact. The Distilled Spirits Council, a U.S. industry group, says U.S. liquor exports to Canada plunged by 63% last year, most of that attributed to the ban on American liquor in most Canadian provinces. The Princess of Wales is scheduled to make her first international trip since recovering from cancer. Kate is expected to travel to Italy next week for a solo trip with her foundation, which focuses on early childhood development. She stepped away from public life in 2024 to focus on her treatment, later returning to her royal duties within the UK. She calls it the journey of a lifetime. A Beauséjour woman is now 10 days into a cross-country bicycle journey, all in an effort to raise money for the Canadian Cancer Society.
The whole concept behind this bike ride is what a privilege it is to have a healthy, able body to do so. I've just seen how quickly and easily your health can be ripped away from you, and I'm kind of doing it for those that can't.
That's Maddie Kennedy, who began her trek at Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia and is currently near Trois-Rivières, Quebec. And the trip hasn't been without difficulty. She says she's already dealt with a flat tire on her bicycle and another flat on the RV her dad is driving. Plus, she was facing serious headwinds across Quebec. But she says the outpouring of support has been more than she expected, getting messages through social media or people pulling over in their vehicles to donate money and share stories about how cancer has affected their lives.
My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2021, and I've just had some people around me, that have got diagnosed with cancer, and the amount of stories that have come in of people that have been affected. I just think it's such a privilege to be able to move my body and do this. And I think our health is something that we often take for granted, and we don't realize what we have until it's taken away from us.
Kennedy expects to be passing through Manitoba in a little over 2 weeks. She's planning on being in her hometown of Beauséjour on May 23rd for a charity event and in Winnipeg the following day. So far, she's raised more than $20,000 of her $1 million goal. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound median and curb lanes on Carlton Street will be closed from Ellis to Graham. On Selkirk Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will be closed between Shepherd and Shaughnessy Street. And the southbound curb lane on McPhillip Street will be closed from Magnus to Manitoba Avenue. If you see any issues out there, please send us a text to let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Beautiful colors out there right now with the sun that has actually already risen, but we're still seeing the gorgeous glow of sunrise and the pretty colors that come as a result. And extra clouds always make for a slightly more dramatic sunrise, so we can thank those clouds for sticking around this morning, knowing that they're not going to stick around this afternoon. Clearing expected, increasing amounts of sunshine and warmer temps to come along with it. We're still sitting well below the freezing mark, though. -5 to begin the day, and we're not alone in those numbers. Many places are a fistful of degrees below the freezing mark, or almost 2 fistfuls over in Brandon. -9 to begin the day, well below seasonal. +4 would be a normal low, so the fact that we're below the freezing mark is already cold, not to mention as cold as -9 over in Brandon, or the minus double digits that we're seeing up in Lynn Lake. So yes, a couple places you're going to want to throw those extra layers on. Bundle up a bit this morning if you're heading out early, but you'll be peeling those layers off as the day goes on, because we will get some improvements with the temperatures and the conditions. The few extra clouds that we're seeing right now will be clearing through midday and into the afternoon, even warming us up with all of the sunshine that we're expecting. So double digits by the time kids are coming home from school today, 10 degrees, but we might even climb another degree into the late afternoon or early evening to a high of 11 today. We're going to call it a win. No, it's not seasonal. 18 degrees is normal, but double digits compared to where we've been big thumbs up there. And even more so for tomorrow. I'd have 3 thumbs up if I could. 16 degrees, we'll take it. Double digits lasting through the weekend, and then even warmer temperatures expected as we're looking ahead to next week. Our weather picture is a beautiful shot of the sun over this beautiful little deer. How serene and stunning. Thank you to Jody for the photo, and keep them coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. The cost of owning a vehicle is now the 3rd largest expense for Canadian households after shelter and food, according to Stats Canada. Many of us are also feeling the pressure at the pumps with higher gas prices. If you need to buy a car in the near future, there are many things to consider. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Car shopping involves a lot of careful considerations: price, performance, safety, reliability, and depending on the price of gas, fuel economy.
This isn't the time to splurge and get that car that's bigger than what you need. Think about what you need on a day-to-day basis.
Due to tariffs, inflation, and other factors, owning a car is now more expensive than ever before.
Car ownership has skyrocketed over the past 4 to 5 years in every way. The price of cars, the cost of operating them.
According to a recent Rate Hub survey, the average expenses to own a car in Canada for a loan, interest, fuel, maintenance, parking, and insurance is now more than $1,400 a month. It may be no surprise there's currently less demand for larger luxury vehicles as consumers try to save money.
We're finding that more and more consumers now are gravitating towards the lower price cars, under $40,000. Many consumers would like to spend under $30,000 on a new car, but your options are very limited at that price point.
Car shoppers are also going for base models with fewer options and lower trim levels to keep costs down. But one segment that is doing very well is anything hybrid.
The good news is that there are hybrid versions of many cars out there, all shapes and sizes. And in Consumer Reports tests, we find that not only can they save you a ton of money on fuel, but they're also, in general, more fun to drive.
While hybrids may cost more up front, they often make up the difference quickly.
A hybrid could easily save you $1,000 a year in gas. And hybrids also have higher resale value. So you get that money back in the back end when you sell it or trade it in.
With high gas prices, there's also been a huge surge in interest in electric cars. Sales are up due in part to a new $5,000 federal rebate. Many manufacturers also have their own rebates to help bring the cost of EV ownership down. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Farmers in Alaska are trying to drive home a buy local message with their annual Drive Your Tractor to Work Day.
You're taking in the tire every year.
Don't farmers drive their tractors to work every day? Well, anyway, they held a small parade featuring 54 tractors ahead of a free potato giveaway. This is all part of promoting the $5 challenge. They're challenging people to try and spend at least $5 on local produce every time they go to the grocery store, because just 5% of produce in Alaska is locally sourced. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We could pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. Today's code word is grand. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter grand with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Good luck. Waking up to no snow today.
What a treat. Doesn't it seem like that? I mean, it's cold and probably colder than it was when it was snowing. But just not seeing snowflakes makes me feel so much better about today. And in fact, instead of snowflakes, we're seeing some breaks in those clouds. It's going to be a beautiful day today. I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, it is colder than what we've been experiencing over the past few days, starting out at -5. But the winds are light out of the west, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 81%. And those clouds that are out there right now will continue to clear. So beautiful conditions expected today. And yes, we are not starting out with snow. So what a win already. And it's only going to get better with the mercury on the rise. We could hit double digits this afternoon. And we'll do it with just a light to moderate wind. to about 20 kilometers per hour out of the northwest. 11 degrees is still nowhere near what is normal for this time of year. In fact, it's almost 10 degrees below seasonal. Well, no, not quite, but 18 is a normal daytime high. So we're still nowhere near those seasonal numbers. But again, compared to where we've been with 3, 4, 5 degrees lately for the past few days of daytime highs, double digits today is exceptional. And then staying above the freezing mark tonight, another win. So all things that we're seeing are improvements over where we've been. Just a few clouds overnight, light winds. They're going to be out of the southwest overnight, shifting out of the northwest for tomorrow, but a high of 16 degrees to finish off the work week on a Friday. Yeah, thumbs up to that. And it's still looking decent through the weekend, cooling down ever so slightly, but the conditions remaining pretty exceptional with the sunshine sticking around. 11 degrees is, as I mentioned, below what you'd expect, but there should be a bit of a warm-up coming on the other side of that, and we're getting closer to those more seasonal numbers, hopefully reaching it by the middle of the week.
The NDP government is expected to table its budget bill today. The Manitoba Progressive Conservatives say they'll bring it to a vote this spring if the NDP agree to one of their changes.
We are saying we will bring this to a vote this spring. But we want, and Manitobans want, real affordability measures in this BITSA.
The Tories say they'll only help speed the bill through if it includes an income tax cut. They're seeking an increase in the basic personal amount from just under $16,000 to $21,000 this year. They say that would save the average two-income household $1,000, around 10 times more than the NDP government's food tax cut.
Holding it back, we are essentially saying to the government that your budget is not good enough for what the measures and the affordability needs of Manitobans are right now.
When asked if the government would consider the Conservatives' proposed increase to the basic personal income tax amount, Finance Minister Adrian Salas said the Canute government has already raised it once and is now focused on other affordability savings.
Focus is going to be to reduce costs for Manitobans, and we're going to stick here all summer if we need to, and longer, to pass that BITSA bill.
The Tories say the NDP could implement the removal of PST on all grocery and corner store foods without passing BITSA. Sala disagrees, saying government counsel has told them that's not the case. The province is appointing an administrator to run the town of Winnipeg Beach. The town's council no longer has enough members to function following an abrupt resignation last week. As CTV's Jeff Keel shows you now, this isn't the only council member to step down.
There are questions in and around this lakeside community as to why the town council is being dissolved.
I think there's just a lot of confusion.
The province confirms it is appointing an administrator to help run Winnipeg Beach because there is no longer enough members to form quorum on council. Once the administrator is in place, all council members are deemed to have resigned. The trigger for all of this? On April 30th, Councillor Doug Jarvis quit suddenly. Stan Potton, mayor at the time, says this caught him off guard.
I was as surprised as anybody else. It was never brought up for discussion. We never talked about anything. No warning, no nothing. He was done.
Because of another resignation last year and the death of another councillor in December, Jarvis's departure left council with only 2 members, not enough to keep going.
We were going forward very, very well. This stopped some of that.
Potton became mayor of Winnipeg Beach after another controversial exit. In 2024, then Mayor Pam Jackson stepped down after she was denied leave for medical reasons.
So after much consideration and with very deep sadness, I hereby submit my resignation as your mayor.
The town will have a new mayor and council in place in the summer, as Election Day is in late July. Potton says he is running to be mayor again.
I ran an easy council. No fighting, no arguing. Everybody do their job, vote the way you want.
CTV News reached out to Doug Jarvis for comment. We have not yet heard back. Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg Beach.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith faced more questions over a leaked voter list.
The Premier has created an office culture where it's either okay to be incompetent and not know that's a problem, or to be so deeply unethical and not care. So, Premier, which is it?
There was no way for him to know that this data was illegal. That was not disclosed on the call.
The Alberta NDP is attacking Premier Smith after a UCP staffer attended an online meeting held by the separatist group, the Centurion Project. This was a training session on how to use a leaked voters list. We now know this list legally belonged to the Republican Party of Alberta, and it somehow ended up in the hands of the Centurion Project. Elections Alberta and police are investigating. Apple has agreed to a $250 million settlement in a class action lawsuit. It's over false advertising of Siri's AI capabilities. The lawsuit, filed on behalf of U.S. consumers, claims Apple misled customers by promoting features that didn't actually exist when the iPhone 16 launched in 2024. If approved, the deal means U.S. device owners could receive at least $25 and up to $95 for each eligible device. Ottawa has said it's considering a social media ban for youth, and it looks like most Canadians support the idea. According to a Léger poll, 70% of respondents said they would support age restrictions for social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok, and nearly the same number, 69%, support restricting AI chatbots like ChatGPT. Overall, more than 80% of people said they're concerned about the potential negative impacts social media and AI chatbots could have on children and teens. Ottawa has promised to implement an online harms bill that could include age restrictions on social media and is considering whether to include AI chatbots in the legislation. Here's a look outside now on McPhillip Street. It looks like things are moving quite well, but overall moving pretty speedily in this part of the city. If you see any issues, let us know. And here's a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.83. It's a slight drop from yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.64, found at 3 gas stations. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today. Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Beautiful out here this morning, and I'm already seeing improvements over the 20 minutes ago when I was last standing out here on the rooftop. We had a few extra clouds lingering, even those starting to clear on out of the way, and we will be seeing more and more sunshine as the clouds continue to clear. And feeling a little more heat as that happens, though we're not necessarily feeling it just yet. -5 is where we begin. It's actually one of the coolest temperatures that we've experienced so far this week. I know we've had worse weather, the snow the past couple of days. This is at least an improvement over that, even if the temperatures aren't indicative of that. The winds right now, though, they're out of the west. They're 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 81%. But now that we are seeing that sunshine, it'll warm us up a lot quicker, certainly, or a lot further, too, than where we've been over the past few days. Because the last few days, we've been topping out in those low to mid single digits, whereas today, pushing up into the double digits. Increasing amounts of sunshine, light to moderate winds. It's going to be a pretty exceptional day, especially relatively speaking. We got Ainsley McPhail out on location this morning. Let's check in and see what's going on. Hey, Ainsley.
Hi, Terry. Good morning. It's Emergency Preparedness Week, and we're joined by Becky Raditz with the City of Winnipeg. We're talking about climate change in this segment. Tell us about how Manitobans and Winnipeggers are affected by this.
Yeah, we're already seeing the impacts of climate change in Winnipeg and Manitoba. We're seeing wildfire smoke, more extreme weather events like big storms, more heat events, and really the unexpected weather and disruption.
And with that, there needs to be a response. What's the City of Winnipeg doing?
We're working on updating our climate action plan because we're already seeing those impacts. So we're looking at climate resilience. So not just impacts to our services and infrastructure, but also looking at how we can make people in Winnipeg more resilient to climate change.
And what does that sort of look like? I won't ask you to rhyme off the entire climate action plan because people are already tired, so I don't want to make them doze off this morning. But what should people know about what you guys are doing?
Well, we're going to be launching some public engagement coming up this spring, so we really want people to keep an eye on the website and the socials to look for that opportunity to engage. So people's experience with climate change will be part of developing that plan, so see how we can be more resilient to those impacts. So when we're thinking about residents or people in Winnipeg being resilient to climate change, we're thinking about those heat events or wildfire smoke events, and we're looking at knowing where your cooling spaces are, like libraries or community centers, those splash pads in the summertime, and thinking about where our clean air spaces are, so looking at those libraries again. And then we also want people to remember to check on their neighbors during those events to make sure we're taking care of each other.
Especially our city's most vulnerable. Thank you so much for this conversation on Emergency Preparedness Week. If you had to sustain yourself for 72 hours, what would be in that emergency kit? Find out after the break.
Thank you, Ainsley. A traffic alert to share with you. A stalled vehicle is blocking the northbound left turning lane on Nejimadzed with Chief Peguis Trail. So avoid that area if you can. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is 17 points up. The Nasdaq added 12 points. The S&P index is close to flat. The loonie is set to 73.42 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng rose 412 points. And the Nikkei had impressive gains, 3,320 points. Good morning, it is 6:46. A 33-year-old man is facing several charges after a worker at a cannabis store in Winnipeg was sexually assaulted. It happened at Smoke City Cannabis at the corner of Isabel Street and William Avenue Tuesday evening. That's about 5 blocks east of Health Sciences Center. Police say the suspect waited for a customer to leave before locking the door from the inside and going behind the counter where the 24-year-old victim was sexually assaulted. She managed to push him away and run from the store while the suspect fled with some cannabis products before police arrived. A suspect was arrested around early Thursday. He's charged with sexual assault, forcible confinement, and theft under $5,000. This all comes just months after a survey by United Food and Commercial Workers Local 832 found only 8% of cannabis store workers felt safe at work at all times. It prompted the union to call on the province for new safety measures, including a ban on working alone, controlled entries, removing window coverings, and mandated closing times. The owner of a now demolished hotel on Main Street is suing the city after the building went up in flames in January. In court documents, the owner of the Manwin Hotel is accusing the city of failing to board up the building properly and conduct a walk-through inspection after ordering it to shut down and evicting the tenants a year earlier. It further claims the city should not have allowed Main Street Project to operate in the adjoining building and that doing so allowed activities that harmed its business. They're asking for $15 million in damages, along with unspecified costs and interest. A spokesperson says the city will not be commenting while the matter is before the courts. U.S. President Donald Trump now says he believes the war in Iran will be over quickly.
Can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and we're beating them badly, and they want to settle very badly. It'll all work out very quickly. But despite having that, some people would call it a war. I call it a military operation.
Iran says it's still reviewing a new U.S. proposal to bring an end to the war. Sources said Washington and Tehran were closing in on a one-page memorandum. U.S. news outlet Axios reported that the 14-point memorandum of understanding with Iran could set a framework for more detailed nuclear negotiations. It reportedly lists a suspension on Iranian nuclear enrichment, the lifting of sanctions, and restoring the Strait of Hormuz. The report says the U.S. is expecting Iranian responses on several key points in the next 48 hours. Sources say this is the closest the parties have come to an agreement since the war began. Meanwhile, Trump has threatened Tehran with a new wave of bombing if a deal isn't reached, and the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. The U.S. military fired on an Iranian oil tanker in hopes of putting pressure on Tehran. The military says a fighter jet shot out the rudder of the tanker in the Gulf of Oman as the vessel tried to breach the American blockade of Iran's ports. This is a rare chance to see art history up close. The works of art by Gustav Klimt sits on the ceiling of Vienna's Berg Theater. There are 10 paintings together telling the story of the theater's history. Visitors can usually only see the paintings from the floor, but the theater is going through some restoration work right now. Since the scaffolding is already there, visitors can now climb up to see the art from a new perspective. That's so cool. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound median and curb lanes on Carlton Street will be closed from Ellis to Graham. On Selkirk Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will be closed between Shepherd and Shaughnessy Street, and the southbound curb lane on McPhillip Street will be closed from Magnus to Manitoba Avenue. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text. Get ready to rock and roll. Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest for you. Molly Crew will headline the second annual Rockin' Thunder on Saturday, July the 4th at Princess Auto Stadium. The legendary rock band will help kickstart the summer, and Your Morning Winnipeg has 4 VIP tickets to give away this week. The Saturday night rock spectacle will also feature 3 Days Grace, Hailstorm, and JJ Wild. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keyword rock. Good luck.
Big improvements on tap today when it comes to the weather, even though these morning temperatures are actually the coolest that they've been all week. -5 is where we're starting out right now in Winnipeg, with a wind out of the west, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 81%. So thankfully that wind is on the lighter side right now, because yes, the temperatures are cooler than they've been, but it's also clearer than it's been for many places right along that western border through much of central Manitoba. Just a few extra clouds here over the southeast and maybe a few more over northeastern Manitoba, which actually might stick around today. Northeastern Manitoba might see those clouds lingering a little bit longer than other folks, whereas Thompson, you'll see some clearing, enjoy some sunshine into the afternoon. But I'll remind you just how much below seasonal we are, because around 12 degrees would be a normal high in around the Thompson area, and instead 5 degrees is where you're going to top out today. And even Churchill should be up above the freezing mark, and that won't be the case. Not only will you be below freezing, heavier clouds, some light and scattered precipitation is possible, but certainly some improvements with the conditions, if not the temperatures. And in fact, these temperatures pushing up into the double digits is getting closer to what you would expect this time of year. So northwestern Manitoba will be doing okay. Southwestern Manitoba also doing okay, pushing up into those mid-teens. Now 18 degrees would be a normal high here across southern Manitoba. So even these numbers still not quite where you would expect to be, but again, relatively speaking, huge improvements, and that goes all across the province. Double digits expected here in Winnipeg today, and along with the sunshine, the winds remaining fairly light to moderate. Northwestern Ontario also looking good with a little bit of sunshine expected and warmer than it's been, and it'll continue to warm up for tomorrow too. Friday looking good. The weekend cools slightly, but we'll see those improvements building next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Listen, Rochelle, as we get close to Mother's Day, you know how schools, I think they still do it, but they give kids these little exercises where they have to answer questions about their mom. And then, it shows they're young kids, so they don't necessarily always know what their mom does, and sometimes the answers are really cute and really funny. So somebody a few years ago decided, why wouldn't adults do that? And so now there's a bunch of fill-in-the-blank books for moms. And so I know that you had Forks Trading Company on yesterday with some wonderful gifts for Mother's Day. We really do love them. They are amazing. And they have those books there. So it's for adults. It's a hardcover book, and then you just sort of fill in the blanks. So for example, it would be, of all of the millions of moms in the world, you might be the only one who, and then you as a kid, fill that in. Or, I'm so totally wildly happy I inherited your blank. Aww. And you fill it in, and then together you and your mom can go through them. I think they're brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Forks Trading Company also has them for Father's Day coming up as well too. And so we thought we would do one each for our moms. So Lloyd, if you'd like, go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the pages is, you may never get me to say this out loud, but it turns out you were actually right about. So my mom was right about a lot of things. One, there's no sharks in our lakes. That was a big fear of mine growing up. But the other big one was that if you are persistent enough, you can accomplish any goal. So it didn't work out for my dreams of being in the NHL.
Yeah.
But around that same time, I was recording a radio show on cassette tape, and it turned out that one did come true. So thank you for that one.
Good one.
Okay. This one says, it's pretty much guaranteed the future generations of our family will know all about how my mom used to calve cows. She was the sole proprietor of a beef operation, and she used to help cows calve, and she'd have a toboggan that was just for the calves. When she helped them birth, she would take them to the barn, and the cow would follow behind. She'd do it at 3 o'clock in the morning, and future generations will always know of it.
I love that. Okay, well, thanks you two. Dogs may be man's best friend, but goats rank #1 for a Vancouver Island woman. So when her beloved bovid went missing one day after being scared by one big bear, she held on to hope. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has more.
Hunaida Bellisfer was preparing to go for a walk with her dogs when they were startled by a bear in the yard.
And he was right here coming. So I was screaming from the bottom of my heart, and he didn't want to move.
It may have been this bear that a neighbor saw on a different day, but in the same area.
I was really scared. He was taller than me. He was really big.
But Hunaida and the dogs kept making noise for almost an hour until the bear eventually retreated back into the woods.
Again, my dogs followed him all the way up there.
The dogs eventually came back, but when Hunaida returned home, there was no sign of her goats.
And I took my car and I drove and I called their name.
She searched for them everywhere for hours, but they were gone.
It was horrible.
Because they weren't just any goats, they were family, especially Nara.
Rejected by her mom, so I needed to raise her with a bottle.
Nara and Hunaida were inseparable. When they weren't watching TV together or going for car rides, the goat would go for hikes with her and the dogs.
So she thinks I'm her mom.
After Nara became a mom, the goat family expanded to 11. But after none of them showed up the next morning, Hunaida couldn't help but think about her work as a grief recovery specialist.
It's important, instead of panicking and anticipating the negativity, trusting that your prayer will be answered.
Almost 24 hours later, it was. A neighbor spotted the goats acres away, and Hunaida rushed to retrieve them.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I just said, babies! And, they were stuck there, but when they saw me, they come running.
Whether the goats were originally scared by the bear's arrival or by all the noise being made before its departure, Hunaida couldn't be more grateful that she never gave up hope and her furry family is reunited.
They're my babies. They're not goats.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, The Chosen.
Here's a look outside right now at Notre Dame Avenue. Looks like things are moving well over here. We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back with your 7 o'clock headlines. It's Thursday, May 7th. Today, priced out why young adults are waiting longer to buy homes. Plus, a royal tour where Princess Kate is heading for an overseas visit. And a cross-country journey, why a Manitoba woman is cycling across Canada. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. It is 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, Darcy's ARC, which is the Animal Rescue Center, they rescue all kinds of animals. They are bursting at the seams right now. Of course, this is kitten season as well. They have a lot of kittens. They're going to bring in a pup a little later at about 7:52 in our Community Connection. We're going to talk about what you can do to support them, what they need right now. And they also have an event coming up this weekend where you can help them out as well. So we're going to tell you more about that because they're looking for a new home. They are in the midst of building a new home, a bigger place. So we're going to talk about that.
What a great time of year to welcome a new puppy, because this is the time that you're actually willing to get outside more, right? Do that work now.
And it's warming up, so.
Right? All good things. All good things speak to get a dog. All right, -5. That's where we're sitting right now as far as the temperatures go. And I know that seems a little bit cool, and it is. It's both well below seasonal and also the coolest morning we've experienced so far this week. But the conditions are looking pretty good with some sun shining overhead. And the winds are light out of the west, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 81%. And I'm far more excited about today than I have been about any day that we've experienced so far this week. The only day I'm more excited about is tomorrow, because it's Friday and it's actually going to be even warmer than today. But today will come with some sunshine and warmer temperatures than where we've been, even though we are starting out a little bit cooler. You can see half of the map showing clear conditions right now, and the other half, northeastern Manitoba and parts of the southeast, with a few extra clouds hanging over us, but those are likely to clear, and we will see then increasing amounts of sunshine as that happens into the afternoon. Northern Manitoba, maybe not so much, especially here in the northeast. You could still see those clouds lingering with some scattered snow expected. A few clouds moving in overnight. temperatures this coming night, maybe it's because of the extra blanket of insulation, they won't be dropping off anywhere near as much as they did this past night. They will likely stay above the freezing mark, so that's good news for us. Not so much for the southwest, unless you don't mind a little bit of rain, because that's what you're going to be seeing tomorrow morning waking up. Clearing though as the day goes on, we'll see a lot more sunshine again, and temperatures not quite seasonal. 18 degrees is normal for this time of year. We're not going to get there today, but it will be warmer than anything it's been, and maybe even up into those mid-teens. And next week, we'll keep our fingers crossed that we'll reach those seasonal temperatures. Look at this. I love this art. It's a little caterpillar. I think maybe made out of plasticine. Listen, it's a lot of texture, it's a lot of color, and I love everything about it. Thank you, Pierce, for sharing that with us. Keep your art coming. Send it now through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. When you do, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Keniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
Younger Manitobans are living at home with their parents longer as housing prices continue to rise and the cost of living soars. A new report finds first-time home buyers are a lot older than previous generations. CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you why.
We're going to check out one of my listings on Clifton. It's 800 square feet, 2-bed, 1-bath, perfect entry-level home.
For a first-time home buyer, price is king, followed by, can I even afford to finance it? Tyler Hall has worked as a Royal LePage realtor for 4 years. He's currently helping a homeowner list this house in Sargent Park. Hall says the Winnipeg real estate market is as hot as ever when it comes to new buyers.
We see a low supply of homes right now, so obviously a high demand. A lot of new entry-level buyers, so we're seeing things move really quick, and people are kind of expanding their searches to different areas or even looking outside the city.
Hall says homes in 2026 are flying off the market. Bidding wars and houses going over asking makes it difficult for millennials looking for a home.
Sometimes if it's a really nice house, everything's been renovated inside. I've seen places go 50 to 100,000 over asking price.
Case in point, he recently sold this St. Vital house for $100,000 over asking, and new data from Statistics Canada seems to support that, which is not helping first-time homebuyers. The report breaks down census data from 1991, 2006, and 2021 across 8 major cities, including Winnipeg. Here, 25 to 29-year-olds living in Winnipeg with parents in 1991 to 2021 jumped from 14.5% to 31.9%.
That first-time homebuyer price range that we were used to, 5 to 7 years ago, that 200 to 350K price range, that's kind of gone now.
McPherson says the new range is $350,000 to $500,000. At those prices, new buyers have a hard time getting financing unless family members step in and help with the down payment.
People might see the list price at $350 and think, hey, well, I can afford that. My pre-approval's good to $350 or $375. But then they're seeing it go for $400 or $425. So they're putting in offers and then just getting blown out of the water.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
According to the report, only Vancouver and Toronto were higher than Winnipeg when it comes to millennials living with their parents. 3 people were taken to hospital following a multi-vehicle crash near Winnipeg's Jefferson neighborhood Wednesday morning. It happened at the corner of Inkster Boulevard and Arlington Street. A tanker truck surrounded by police tape could be seen in the front yard of a home, along with a severely damaged white service van. A black van was also in the middle of the street with significant damage. Police say the 3 people taken to hospital have been upgraded to stable condition. The traffic unit is now investigating. Dozens of Saskatchewan communities are still reeling from severe floods. Record water levels are forcing people from their homes in some areas and destroying properties in others.
A lot of things floating around. Lost a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of engines that I got to worry about.
This homeowner's backyard is now underwater. A late snow melt has more than 20 communities in the central part of the province under local states of emergency. Now the water is receding, but the major cleanup and road repairs will take time and can't start until all the water washes away. She calls it the journey of a lifetime. A Beauséjour woman is now 10 days into a cross-country bicycle journey, all in an effort to raise money for the Canadian Cancer Society.
The whole concept behind this bike ride is what a privilege it is to have a healthy, able body to do so. I've just seen how quickly and easily your health can be ripped away from you, and I'm kind of doing it for those that can't.
That's Maddie Kennedy, who began her trek at Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia and is currently near Trois-Rivières, Quebec. And the trip hasn't been without difficulties. She says she's already dealt with a flat tire on her bicycle and another flat on the RV her dad is driving. Plus, she was facing serious headwinds across Quebec. But she says the outpouring of support has been more than she expected, getting messages through social media or people pulling over in their vehicles to donate money and share stories about how cancer has affected their lives.
My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2021, and I've just had some people around me, you know, that have got diagnosed with cancer, and the amount of stories that have come in of people that have been affected. I just think it's such a privilege to be able to move my body and do this. And I think our health is something that we often take for granted, and we don't realize what we have until it's taken away from us.
Kennedy expects to be passing through Manitoba in a little over 2 weeks. She's planning on being in her hometown of Beauséjour on May 23rd for a charity event and in Winnipeg the following day. So far, she's raised more than $20,000 of her $1 million goal. Here's a look outside now at Portage Avenue. Things are moving well over here to start off this Thursday morning. If you have any traffic tips to share, please send us a text at 10400.
Stock futures are holding gains, and Brent is falling for a third straight day as traders await updates on a potential U.S.-Iran peace deal that would reopen oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz. A big insider trading scandal is brewing south of the border. U.S. federal prosecutors allege lawyers from top U.S. mergers and acquisitions firms provided tips on some of the biggest deals of the last decade to an insider trading ring that made tens of millions of dollars in illegal profits. At least 30 people have been charged. Maple Leaf Foods reporting sales for the first quarter that beat the average analyst estimate. Sales totaled $962.9 million compared to the estimate of $940.6. Curtis Frank, president and chief executive officer of Maple Leaf Foods, says our first quarter results reflect the disciplined execution of our strategic blueprint across the business. And Cascade's reporting sales for the first quarter that met the average analyst estimate as well. And those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
The skies in parts of southwest China are being lit up by one spectacular drone show. It features thousands of lit up drones moving in sync with music in the night sky. The highlight, of course, is during the finale as the drones are organized to form a glowing red pomegranate meant to represent unity and mutual support among all ethnic groups in the country. All right, let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Emergency Preparedness Week and what we need to keep in mind. Good morning, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning, and good morning, Manitoba. Let there be light. And when there is actually, you know what? We're going to talk about power outages too. Isn't that so funny? What happens when there is a power outage? Say that you're a wheelchair user. We are going to be answering some of those questions in regards to a coalition here in Winnipeg. Also, why are there various items on the table? Well, if there is an emergency and you've got 72 hours with the lights off, what do you need? Also, how should you have your home? Even we were thinking about this as well in my notes, having a clear house, a clear space if there is a fire and first responders need to come and get you. So with Emergency Preparedness Week, it's all of these little things we need to be thinking about and how we can help our most vulnerable. Back to you.
Great advice. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. The sun is shining. It's going to warm up today.
It really is going to warm up, and I am so excited about this. Some of the best conditions that we'll experience this week, even though the morning temperatures are actually some of the coldest that we've experienced so far this week, starting now at -6. I shouldn't say starting. We spent last hour at -5 and dropped off a degree just as we were hoping to see it turn around and head the other direction. But I am not concerned about this at all. I think now that the sun is up, we will start to make some really impressive gains throughout the day. The winds, they're light still. Out of the north, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 80%. Most of the sky is actually clear right now. The bit of cloud that we're seeing is actually directly over the sun. It's trying to shine through those clouds. But even the last of those clouds are likely to clear as the day goes on, making way for mainly sunny conditions then and sunshine that will eventually warm us up. Warmer than it's been, at least, even if we are going to remain shy of seasonal, and that'll pretty much be the case across the entire province today. Abundant sunshine for anybody along that western border, and we're still waiting to see that abundant sunshine, but mostly sunny is what we've got right now. Northeastern Manitoba might linger with those extra clouds and maybe even a little bit of light and scattered snow. And that's actually where the temperatures will possibly, for some, remain below the freezing mark. But most of us will see improvements with the temperatures and the conditions, and then continuous improvements as we're looking through tomorrow and the weekend.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
It's time now for a question of the day. Mother's Day is this weekend, and we want to know, what's one thing your mother always told you? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
It's time for our Pet of the Week reveal. This week, we're celebrating Asta and Ash. Asta is the little girl in the left. The big blonde guy is Ash. Asta is a 3-legger, but keeps her brother in line. They know it's time to start the day when they hear us each morning. Thanks to the Kellys for sharing this photo, and congratulations to this good duo. We love your Pet of the Week submissions, so keep them coming, please. Share a photo and a fun story about your pet, whether it's a dog, cat, bird, or any other buddy, at petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And then make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our Pet of the Week. Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We could pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is GRAND. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter GRAND with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Good luck. Good morning. A cyclist is recovering after being struck by a vehicle in the Transcona area early Wednesday. Police say the crash at Dugald Road and Ravenhurst Street happened around 5:30 a.m. Traffic on Dugald was down to only one lane, and several police cruisers were on scene, while a pickup truck could be seen parked on the shoulder of the road. The man on the bicycle was taken to hospital in critical condition, but has since been upgraded to stable. The driver remained at the scene and spoke with officers. The crash is under investigation. The Princess of Wales is scheduled to make her first international trip since recovering from cancer. Kate is expected to travel to Italy next week for a solo trip with her foundation, which focuses on early childhood development. She stepped away from public life in 2024 to focus on her treatment, later returning to her royal duties within the UK. A popular video game is being used to help teach and preserve Indigenous language and culture.
Carry this teaching as you continue. Mick.
It's called Turtle Island Trails and is being launched by the Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Centre. It's a first-of-its-kind learning experience, and it's built inside a fortnight. The game starts inside of a village where an elder tells the main character that they need to defeat the presence of a Wendigo, a folklore spirit. Players learn more vocabulary and teachings as the game progresses, and English slowly gets replaced.
As each challenge progresses, they learn more and more vocabulary, and then it starts to be pulled away. Like there's less English in the end and there's more Anishinaabe, and they learn it through context, through doing. They hear it through audio, they read it, they can also use a dictionary to reflect on if they forget the word, and then they have to act on that language by doing the challenge, and that's where the educational value is.
The game is designed for students from grades 5 to 12. Once it's published, it will be available free to anyone to play. The organization hopes to have the game available in all First Nations schools in the province by September. Here's a look outside now at Confusion Corner and what's happening in traffic. Things are moving quite well in this part of the city. If you encounter any problems out there, please send us a text to let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
A new exhibition at Wagcomra York features the work of an acclaimed Inuit artist. Ninjiukluk TV, Stories from the Arctic, includes nearly 60 artworks from the artist. TV's art explores Inuit storytelling and cultural traditions with images that include creation stories, animal fables, and those of the spirits that inhabit the shamanic belief system.
And so she really enjoys telling those stories on paper. But she's also interested in everyday life, her experiences, and putting those in the context of her culture.
The artwork is from the Chilakas Dental Group's Inuit Art in Practice collection, which serves as a model for the integration of art within healthcare settings. The exhibition is now open and will run through the winter. An all-new Sesame Street live show is coming to Winnipeg, and it stars a beloved character. It's called Elmo's Got the Moves. It's an interactive show which blends music, movement, and storytelling together, all with the help of your favorite Sesame Street stars. The doubleheader kicks off at the Burton Cummings Theatre on December 5th at 2 p.m., and the second show follows at 6. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. on Ticketmaster. Friends, memorabilia, and other valuables from the estate of Matthew Perry are being put up for auction. It includes multiple scripts from the hit show, including ones from the first and last episodes signed by the cast. Other items include a photo album titled The One with the Last Supper, a 1995 Screen Actors Guild Award, and pieces of art by anonymous street artist Banksy. The sale by Heritage Auctions gets underway June 5th. It will benefit the Matthew Perry Foundation, which works to destigmatize addiction and aid in recovery from substance abuse. Tonight on your primetime lineup, Next Level Chef kicks off at 7. Following up is 911 Nashville at 8. Grey's Anatomy is on at 9. Then George and Mandy's First Marriage wraps things up at 10 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Clearing is continuing, and that means more and more sunshine every time we look outside. Not more and more heat, though, not for us here in Winnipeg. We actually dropped off. It's like minus 5.5, so some models are registering as minus 6. This particular one always tends to give a more favorable number. So it's showing minus 5 right now. Brandon is seeing some actual improvements. You were at minus 9 earlier this morning, so you've made a couple degree gains with that sun shining over you. But what you are seeing is all of southern and central Manitoba below the freezing mark to begin the day, when normal lows this time of year would be about plus 4. So we're all having a very cool, chilly start to the morning, but a clear one too, and it is looking promising that we'll enjoy that sunshine throughout the day today. For some places, not necessarily here in the northeast. That's where the heavier clouds will linger, with perhaps a little bit of light and scattered snow as well. We've been watching these clouds clearing out here in the southeastern part of the province and already clear throughout much of the rest of Manitoba. So with that sunshine will come some warmth today. Not a shocking amount, and still not quite seasonal, but better than it's been. So relatively speaking, this is a huge win, climbing up into the double digits by the time kids are coming home from school today. 11 degrees are expected high. We'll probably reach that a little bit later into the afternoon, but 18 is normal. Now, tomorrow we could get closer to those seasonal temperatures and then holding steady just into the double digits as we're continuing through the weekend. And thank you very much to Jody for sharing today's picture with us. A beautiful shot of that serene little deer out in nature this morning. And keep the photos coming. We'd love to see more of them. Send them to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
May 7th, 1945. Germany surrendered unconditionally to Western Allies and Russians at 2:41 p.m. French time at General Dwight Eisenhower's headquarters in a schoolhouse in Reims, France. In Canada, celebratory rioters smashed and looted downtown Halifax. 2 Navy personnel were killed and 17 injured. May 7th, 1975. U.S. President Gerald Ford formally declared an end to the Vietnam era. In Saigon, renamed Ho Chi Minh City, the North Vietnamese military staged a rally to celebrate their takeover. Ford's proclamation was part of a broader effort to help the United States move forward after the long and controversial Vietnam War. May 7th, 1998. Chrysler announced it was merging with Germany's Daimler-Benz in a $40 billion stock deal to become Daimler Chrysler AG. Daimler eventually sold the money-losing Chrysler unit to Cerebus Capital Management LP. In 2009, Chrysler formally filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection after announcing a new partnership with Fiat.
The supply shortage resulting from those tensions in the Strait of Hormuz has led to a global surge in gas prices, and that's leading to a rise in fuel theft here in Canada. Here's CTV's Alex Carpa.
Some are turning to unconventional methods to get their hands on fuel, a desperation move with gas prices soaring.
You know, they'll do it right here.
X marks the spot where people drill into fuel tanks with the intention of stealing gas directly from vehicles.
So they'll take a hole saw, they'll drill it in, and they'll stick a pipe in with a transfer pump, and it's done in minutes.
Mechanics have noticed a recent uptick in vehicles coming into their shop with gas tank damage, repairing a couple of cars a month.
It's pretty simple, but it's costly. I mean, we have to take the tank out, which on a lot of vehicles is 2 to 3 hours of labor, and then we have to bring it to a special place where they weld them, and then we put them back in.
And the theft is leaving individuals and businesses out hundreds of dollars.
So this is one of the trucks that was damaged.
Juliana Bartel says 2 of the trucks at her business were recently targeted.
We came to work in the morning and tried to fire up a truck, and it was making some weird sounds, so the guys went underneath the vehicle because we assumed our gas tank was drilled. And that's exactly what had happened.
Siphoning gas is the more traditional way to steal gas from a vehicle, but drilling a hole into the pump directly is a faster method.
It's just such a huge inconvenience.
RCMP say this type of theft is relatively common, especially in rural communities. Their advice, keep your car in a well-lit area and have cameras installed on your property. Similar incidents are also being reported elsewhere. Earlier this year, a suspect in BC's interior drilled into a gas tank and stole fuel from a pickup truck. Thefts like this are also being reported south of the border.
It happens fast, and they're in and out.
As gas prices continue to rise, Jansen says he believes this theft could become a bigger issue. Alex Carver, CTV News in Bloom North, Manitoba.
Coming up, we're at the Emergency Operations Center. We're talking about Emergency Preparedness Week and what you need to have in your 72-hour emergency kit. Stay with us for more. It's Emergency Preparedness Week, and Ainsley McPhail is going to have some advice on how to be prepared when the worst thing happens. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, and we want our city's most vulnerable who are impacted to have the resources that they need. Patrick Stewart's joining us now. There is a coalition, Patrick, to assist our elderly population. How does it all work?
Sure. The coalition is called DEMNET. That stands for Disability Emergency Management Network. It's made up of various nonprofits I think a lot of people will be familiar with. The Independent Living Resource Center, who I work for, but also Canadian National Institute for the Blind, Age and Opportunity, St. Amant Center, Canadian Mental Health Association, you get the idea, as well as kind of key government partners like the Government of Manitoba and the City of Winnipeg, our host today. Our mission is to minimize the risks that Manitobans with disabilities can face as a result of emergencies and disasters. We do that through networking. We do that through advocating for accessible policies and planning and resources, providing educational opportunities for individuals, organizations, and generally really prioritizing personal preparedness.
That's really great, but let's get practical. So what are some of the situations these individuals might face? For instance, a wheelchair user.
Oh, sure. Okay, for sure. Well, like everybody, we need a plan for emergencies and being cut off from things that we might take for granted, like electricity or our utilities, things like that. But for people with disabilities, well, needs are going to be individual. So if you're a power wheelchair user, for example, you might be thinking about what if I'm cut off from electricity? If you're using medication, you might want to have backup supplies. If you use home care or attendant care services and you're cut off from those types of supports, you might want to be thinking about who else in my network, maybe family members can be trained to take care of my needs.
We're almost out of time, but for the caregivers too, they must be pretty stressed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, emergencies are going to be a stressful time for everybody. If you're in a caregiving position, of course, you're not just, worried about your own needs. You're going to be worried about people, maybe in your family, in your network that are going to be vulnerable. But it's planning that's going to mitigate those risks and really relieve stress, at these really heightened times of anxiety.
Thank you so much. Such an important conversation. We've got more coming up at 7:42.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. And today the weather is going to turn for us finally. Things are going to warm up.
It's about time.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, this week has been a struggle to get to this point. And in fact, where we are right now is colder than it's been all week long, but the conditions are so much better that we're seeing it, or Yeah, seeing it as a win, I'm calling it a win. Yes, it's colder, but it's not snowing, and it has been doing that for the past couple of days now. So -6, even though it's not an improvement temperature-wise, with that sunshine, we'll see mercury on the rise soon enough. The north winds are light, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 80%. These are the kind of mornings where we're probably going to start to see some big jumps with those temperatures, a few degrees at a time, getting us to numbers that are far better than anything we've experienced so far this week. And like I said, it's mostly the improvement in conditions that I'm optimistic about, because the last couple of days we've been waking up to snow, and it's been lingering through too much of the day to make us happy about it. So this is looking good for most of the province. It's not just a Winnipeg thing. The majority of Manitoba will be soaking up that sunshine today and enjoying some warmer temperatures than where we've been earlier this week. Double digits on the way, 11 degrees with a 20k wind out of the northwest. Overnight, a few extra clouds lingering, but that'll just give us enough of a blanket of insulation that we stay above the freezing mark, dropping down to 2 degrees. 4 degrees would be a seasonal low, 18 a normal daytime high. Tomorrow we'll get even closer to that, up to 16 degrees, and still a bit of a breeze out of the northwest. Through the weekend, we're going to see temperatures dipping slightly from where they'll be tomorrow. So it might seem like we're losing the ground that we gained, but then following that, we will see some improvements all over again, and possibly even pushing up into the low 20s by the middle of the week.
Thank you, Terry. A hospital in southern Manitoba has canceled surgeries after being infested with ants again. The Southern Health Authority says 16 elective procedures have to be rescheduled at the hospital in the town of Carman, southwest of Winnipeg. The work is being shifted elsewhere while an exterminator rids the hospital of the pests. The hospital previously had to deal with ants in August 2024, but they died off within a few weeks. The NDP government is expected to table its budget bill today. The Manitoba Progressive Conservatives say they'll bring it to a vote this spring if the NDP agrees to one of their changes.
We are saying we will bring this to a vote this spring. But we want, and Manitobans want, real affordability measures in this BITSA.
The Tories say they'll only help speed the bill through if it includes an income tax cut. They're seeking an increase in the basic personal amount from just under $16,000 to $21,000 this year. They say that would save the average two-income household $1,000, around 10 times more than the NDP government's food tax cut.
By holding it back, we are essentially saying to the government that your budget is not good enough for what the measures and the affordability needs of Manitobans are right now.
When asked if the government would consider the Conservatives' proposed increase to the basic personal income tax amount, Finance Minister Adrian Sala says the Canute government has already raised it once and is now focused on other affordability savings.
Our focus is going to be to reduce costs for Manitobans, and we're going to stick here all summer if we need to, and longer, to pass that BITSA bill.
The Tories say the NDP could implement the removal of PST on all grocery and corner store foods without passing BITSA. Sala disagrees, saying government counsel has told them that's not the case. Social media giant Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram, is asking a U.S. judge to toss a landmark verdict in March that found it harmed users by deliberately designing platforms that were addictive and failed to warn users of the dangers. Meta wants that verdict overturned or a new trial ordered. It, along with other social media platforms, is facing thousands of similar lawsuits filed by individuals and families who claim companies are fueling a mental health crisis in young people. Privacy watchdogs now say OpenAI violated Canadian privacy laws when training its ChatGPT model.
To initially train ChatGPT, OpenAI scraped vast amounts of personal information from publicly accessible websites.
This follows a 3-year investigation involving privacy commissioners from the federal government, BC, Alberta, and Quebec. It found personal data was collected too broadly and that sensitive information, such as health conditions and political views, was used. OpenAI has since agreed to strengthen safeguards and improve transparency. The federal government is in the process of drafting new AI legislation, but for now, lawmakers are relying on private companies to police themselves. Israel has attacked Beirut for the first time since agreeing to a ceasefire with the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah. The airstrike hit the city's southern suburbs, where Hezbollah is based. In a statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he had personally approved the strike, which targeted a commander of the group's elite Radwan force. It's the first attack to hit Beirut's suburbs since U.S. President Donald Trump announced a ceasefire deal between the governments of Israel and Lebanon on April 16th. Apple has agreed to a $250 million settlement in a class action lawsuit. It's over false advertising of Siri's AI capabilities. The lawsuit, filed on behalf of U.S. consumers, claims Apple misled customers by promoting features that didn't actually exist when the iPhone 16 launched in 2024. If approved, the deal means U.S. device owners could receive at least $25 and up to $95 for each eligible device. This settlement does not include Canadian iPhone users. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound median and curb lanes on Carlton Street will be closed from Ellis to Graham. On Selkirk Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will be closed between Shepherd and Shaughnessy Street. And the southbound curb lane on McPhillips Street will be closed from Magnus to Manitoba Avenue. Let's take a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.83. It's a slight drop from yesterday's amount. And the lowest price in the city is $1.64, found at 3 gas stations. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Here's a look right now. It's sitting at -6. It's sunny, though, and it's expected to warm up nicely today. We'll be back after this short break.
What a beautiful morning we're waking up to, even though it is the coldest morning that we've had so far this week. -6 is where that temperature sits, but the sun is shining and the winds are light out of the north, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 80%. This is a huge improvement over the snow over the past couple of days. And yes, the temperatures might have been slightly milder yesterday or the day before, but the heavier clouds and the flurries just made it feel all sorts of awful. And this is at least looking good, even if it is a little bit cool. So if you're headed out early, throw that extra layer on. No matter where you are, you'll need it. Many places, I think actually all places right now, are below the freezing mark, but we will make some impressive gains throughout the day today, even if we're still staying a little bit shy of what is normal for this time of year. For example, up in Churchill, you should be at least pushing into the plus digits, not by much, 1-2 degrees. That would be normal for this time of year, and instead staying below freezing with the heavier clouds and some scattered snow. And in fact, we'll deal with those heavier clouds lingering through much of the northeast. Thompson should clear out, seeing a little more sunshine, but the temperatures still not getting to what would be seasonal, around 12 degrees, a normal daytime high for you, still missing the mark considerably. Around 14 normal in places like Flin Flon and the Pas. Again, getting closer to those numbers, and the conditions will be spectacular. Again, relatively speaking, this is a huge win for everybody. Mid-teens through the southwest, but 18 is in fact normal. Now, if I stop talking about what is normal for this time of year, because there's been nothing about this spring that has been at all normal. So when you just take that out of the equation, this is not too bad. 11 degrees expected with some sunshine. At least we're getting up into the double digits. Northwestern Ontario might stay just a little bit cooler than that. And even warmer for tomorrow, 16 degrees to finish off the work week. Sunshine sticking around for the weekend, and maybe a little warmer for next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Emergency Preparedness Week and how you need to be prepared to be at home for at least 72 hours in an emergency. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Dwayne Hakkinen joins us now, and he's going to tell us exactly what goes in that kit and how to make your kit fit your lifestyle. Dwayne, good morning. We've really got a lot here, so it might even seem overwhelming at first, but what do we have to the immediate right of us?
Yeah, for sure. So during emergency or disaster, first responders might not be able to get to you right away or quickly. So we encourage Winnipeggers to have a 72-hour emergency kit just to cover those essential kit. So from right to left, we'll start with your home kit. So if you had the shelter in place, you got to think about water, 2 liters per person per day. Food, around 2,000 calories, depending on your weight and age, that sort of thing. Any other essentials as well, right? So you got to think about toiletries. You got to think about your pets as well, right? I have a little Boston Terrier. I have food put aside for him, so just in case. Water for them as well. Anything else, especially important documents, we kind of talked about having maybe some money on hand, like small change, because if a bank goes down, you can't use your debit or credit cards. You might have to resort back to cash. And anything else you might have in your home already, right? You mentioned being overwhelmed, and that's true. A lot of the stuff you're already going to have, but you could also, you know, when you're getting groceries, maybe add to that, have a kit list, mark it down as you go, and build it up. Just be more prepared. It's going to make you more resilient. First aid kit, obviously, for small injuries and that sort of thing. So.
And we talked about getting specific. You touched on pets, but if you have a kid too, they're going to need specifics as well.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you had to evacuate, right? So kids, you know, they can't carry as much weight as an adult. So you're going to have a go bag. So you want to have your essential kit that you're going to have to absolutely have with you. So important document, food and water. For a kid, yeah, you might have some snacks, some water so they can carry along. Important documentation, right? So if you do get separated, they have contact information and they can contact people. Also have, you know, information on your pet, right? You might not have access to a pharmacy or a veterinarian, right? So you've got to make sure you bring all those with you if you have to evacuate.
We're almost out of time. Any hidden ones, like obvious ones that aren't so obvious? For example, a phone charger.
Phone charger for sure. Also having a radio that you can actually hand wind. So they have USB, USB-C, so you can actually plug your phone into it and actually charge your phone as well, right? So.
Yeah, we're getting back to basics here. I was like, cash, why would I need cash? But of course, if something's going wrong, you need to have...
being prepared, thinking about the next few hours, the next couple of days. Keep your family safe.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ainsley. New research that Alberta's separatism debate is being fueled by a coordinated online campaign outside of Canada's borders. CTV's Kathy Lee on what more the study shows.
Researchers suggest foreign actors, including Russia, are using artificial intelligence to amplify Alberta separatist content online. The messaging pushes themes of independence, Canada failing, and even the province joining the United States. They say this strategy is subtle, designed to blend into everyday conversations and meant to create division.
The reason why people don't see it is it's very covert. They write messages and have narratives that are close enough to something that you believe that you will send an article along without necessarily reading everything that's in that article.
These concerns come as another controversy grows in Alberta. A separatist group, the Centurion Project, is facing allegations it illegally obtained information on millions of Alberta voters.
The scale of this is truly unprecedented in Alberta's history, and there's a real risk of harm, I think, to people in connection with this incident.
There are also allegations voter data, including that of former Premier Jason Kenney, was shown during an online meeting. A member of the Premier's inner circle was in attendance, but Danielle Smith, who says she was not aware of the breach, defended the caucus staffer.
There was no way for him to know that this data was illegal.
Political scientist Lori Williams says a public inquiry may be needed.
The only way of finding what happened, making recommendations to change the legislation.
Meanwhile, the separatist group Stay Free Alberta says it's gathered enough signatures to trigger a potential referendum this fall, with researchers warning that would make the Alberta separation debate an even bigger target for foreign interference. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Get ready to rock and roll. We have a contest for you. Molly Crew will headline the second annual Rock and Thunder on Saturday, July the 4th at Princess Auto Stadium. The legendary rock band will help kickstart the summer, and Your Morning Winnipeg has 4 VIP tickets to give away this week. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword rock. Good luck. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 50th birthday, Candace, with love from Mom, Dad, Jim, Mia, Brett, Kristen, Garrett, and Cass. Happy 20th birthday, Haley. Love from your grandma, grandpa, your mom and dad, sisters, Deanna and Sarah, Shadow, and all your family and friends. Happy 17th birthday, Noah. Grandma and grandpa and your family send their love and wish you a great day. And a happy 7th birthday to grandson Aura, with love from Grandma Elizabeth. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It will also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Okay, 11 degrees is where we're headed today, and while that might not quite be what is normal for this time of year, 18 in fact being seasonal, or last year, 19, or the record, 34.4, when you compare it to what we've been dealing with throughout this week, everything is an improvement. So baby steps, and we will take it. And in fact, it feels so good out here. I'm almost ready to ditch this layer. Well, maybe not. It's still -6. Not ditching that layer soon, but certainly having those sunglasses with me with that extra layer on. And then yes, later on today, you will be ditching that layer because we are in for one of the warmer days of this week, even though we're starting out as one of the cooler days of this week. The winds are light. They're out of the north, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 80%, and that sunshine on full display right now. We did have some clouds that were just blocking it earlier. That is no longer the case as those clouds have cleared out, and much of the province is seeing the clearing or clear conditions. Some folks woke up to that. We had a few extra clouds, but the improvements have started now. Where those clouds will likely linger is northeastern Manitoba, and with the clouds, maybe even a little bit of light and scattered snow. For the rest of us, yes, a beautiful sunny day ahead and a warmer day than it's been, even if we don't quite make it to the seasonal 18 degrees, double digits on tap, up to 11 degrees this afternoon, and even warmer for tomorrow.
The local animal rescue, Darcy's Ark, has been a pillar of the community for 25 years, rescuing animals from some of the most difficult situations. And right now, as it faces capacity issues and a move, the animal rescue is in need of some help of its own. Joining me now to share more is Darcy Johnston, CEO of Darcy's Ark. Hello, Darcy.
Hello. Thanks for having us on the show.
Well, you're welcome. And this is Thrills.
This is Thrills.
She's 13 weeks.
13-week-old husky puppy from the north, and she came in with her litter mates, Chicklet and Hubba Bubba. So Chicklet has been adopted, so this is Thrills, and she needs to get a home of her own.
She's
doing
so
pretty good.
Sweet. Look at her. She's a little TV ham.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
So tell us what's going on right now in this situation.
Yeah, it's been 25 years. We've been on an incredible journey, and it's just something that our lease is coming up, and our landlord has expressed interest in taking over our space or moving into our space as well, because an empty unit in the strip mall that we work in, and he's helping us move into another location right next door.
Okay.
So we are kicking off a barbecue this weekend, just to raise awareness that we are moving and that we want people to come down. Hot dog, face painting, cotton candy, and we're also doing some paintball, and people can come down, see the new plans for the new facility. There's some silent auctions, a 50-50 draw, and possibly sponsor a wall plaque or sponsor a room is kind of what we're looking for to help us build this new facility. The price tag is pretty hefty. So,
okay, so let's talk about where you're at in terms of animals right now. You're at capacity, right?
We're at capacity. It's never ending with the number of animals that are coming in. We've been fortunate. They move fairly fast, which is great. They come in, they get all fixed, spayed and neutered, and vaccinated. Then they go for adoption. They're gone within the week, and then a new group comes in. But there's a never-ending supply of animals coming into the shelter, or that need to come into the facility.
It's also kitten season, right? So
it's kitten and puppy season. As you can see, Thrills is here, and this year seems to be a lot of sick and injured animals coming in. It's been a long winter, but the kittens are coming in, and they're coming in young, and but they're going up and they're gone almost the same day they come up for adoption, which is great. But we have no shortage as usual.
So the new space that you're moving into, is it going to be bigger?
Yes, it's going to be almost twice the size. Featuring a lot more kennel space for the animals. We're going to have a dog diner in this new facility, so something different for Winnipeg, Manitoba, and boarding for the animals. We're increasing our supply area, but most importantly, we're increasing our capacity to house more animals is what we're doing.
Okay, and so you are expanding, so that means you're going to need more support from the community, so hence the barbecue this weekend. But on an average, what are you hoping people will help you with?
Well, hope people will offer supplies and services. We're hoping we're a registered charity, so we're hoping people are going to come down and sponsor a dog kennel and put put their name on it, or sponsor a cat room and put the name on it. Make a donation for it. We have this mural coming that people can pick out an animal and put their name on it, or put a plaque on it.
Yeah.
That's available for sponsorship as well. And just help us, with ideas and just build this facility. It's going to be 11,000 square feet, and there's lots to do. So we're looking for new ideas. We're also looking for support in the community, suppliers, contractors that can help us out with supplies. We are a charity. Tax receipts can be issued. But this is why we've kicked off the Million Tales of Hope, because it's coming in at $1 million price tag for us to move next door. So it's a huge undertaking for us, and we've always been involved in the community, and they've always been great supporter of our shelter and of homeless animals. So hoping they're going to come out and keep supporting us. We've been doing this for 25 years, so obviously we're doing something right.
I was going to ask you that. Was my next question. 25 years ago, would you imagine that you'd still be here doing this?
I kind of had a plan that I would like to shut down because there's no more homeless animals in the city of Winnipeg. But 25 years later, really not much has changed. Animals are still there. The homelessness is still there. There's not a lot of spay and neuter programs available for these animals. So we're back to square one as far as I'm concerned. We've been through the pandemic, and now the world's is back, going in a different direction.
Okay.
But
Thrills, I want you to look at that camera there. You see that camera? This little girl needs a new home. She's ready to adopt.
She's ready to go. Yeah.
13 weeks old.
And she's sitting.
She's a good girl. Look how good she's been this whole time. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, Thrills. Again, if you want more information, look at that face. We have a link on our website if you want more. Thank you, Thrills.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Welcome inside the Sports Center newsroom. Matt Scooby with your must-see moment from Wednesday forward. We are heading to Tropicana Field. The Jays visiting the Rays. Bottom 8, Junior Caminero going to hit one to third. How about Kazuma Okamoto? Great diving stop. Throws out Caminero at first. Okamoto flashing the leather at the hot corner. Another great defensive play takes away extra bases for Caminero. That web gem, your must-see moment for Wednesday. Now, Thursday on TSN, you can catch MLB action when the Rays visit the Red Sox. Coverage of that starts 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
Like all the old It's Thursday, May 7th. Man win lawsuit. Why the owner of a Main Street building destroyed by a fire earlier this year is pressing the city of Winnipeg for damages running into the millions of dollars. Millennials and the housing market. A new report reveals all the reasons why relatively few in this age cohort have been able to take on a mortgage compared to earlier generations. And Alaskan Farmers holds a tractor parade, and it's not just a cool sight to see. It has a promotional component that starts with some free potatoes. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, we're really excited about this. At 8:15, the Prairie Canada Carvers Association, they're coming in with all their carvings, which I have one at home personally. I have like a little old man with a beard that's carved into this old piece of wood that I love. And his eyes are a little to the side. He's a little creepy, but still cool. And so we're going to have all kinds of carving. It's really pieces of art. And they're having a 2-day event this weekend where you could either purchase some or you can learn how to do it yourself. So we're going to have details on that. But the weather is warming up a little bit today.
Huge improvements. It's going to make everybody happy. I think no matter where you are in the province, you'll see improvements over what we've had earlier on this week. And for us here in Winnipeg, while those improvements aren't necessarily with the temperature first thing, it certainly is with the conditions, because A, it's not snowing, and B, the sun is shining instead. So that's what we're waking up to, though -6 is one of the coolest mornings. It comes with a light breeze out of the north, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 80%. And now that the clouds have cleared and the sun is shining over us, we will likely start to see those temperatures really bumping up now, because it is going to be, while it's cooler this morning than it's been so far this week, it's also going to be warmer than it's been so far this week. So it's the gains that we're going to make today that will be so very impressive, and sunshine expected through most of the province. We might see the clouds lingering through the northeastern part of the province with a little bit of light and scattered snow. That's a possibility for folks in that area. But for most of us, it will be quite clear, increasingly so here in the southeast. Maybe seeing some clouds building up later on into the day along that western border. And we could see a few clouds passing through overnight, but all that means is it keeps those temperatures a little bit milder for tomorrow morning. Now, speaking of tomorrow, southwestern Manitoba could be in for a round of precipitation that could move through. We're on the eastern side, likely to enjoy a little more of that sunshine and a little more warmth than what we're even expecting for today. And even today will take us up into the double digits. Though 18 degrees is seasonal, we will get closer to those more normal numbers as we're looking ahead to next week. And our art today is so colorful and fun. Thank you to Pierce, 4 years old, for sharing your caterpillar with us. And we'd love to see more of what you're working on. Send it through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. And when you do, you're entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle. Spend quality time with loved ones and paint memories together.
The owner of a now demolished hotel on Main Street is suing the city after the building went up in flames in January. In court documents, the owner of the Manwin Hotel is accusing the city of failing to board up the building properly and conduct a walkthrough inspection after ordering it to shut down and evicting the tenants a year earlier. It further claims the city should not have allowed Main Street Project to operate in the adjoining building and that doing so allowed activities that harmed its business. They're asking for $15 million in damages, along with unspecified costs and interest. A spokesperson says the city will not be commenting while the matter is before the courts. Entering the housing market is becoming increasingly challenging for young people. That's the takeaway from a new report by Statistics Canada. According to the report, a little more than 16% of millennials aged 25 to 39 were living with their parents in the 2021 census year. That's about twice as many people in that age range back in 1991. The agency found almost half of millennials owned a home, compared to over 56% of Gen Xers and just shy of 56% of baby boomers when they were in the same age bracket. One of the main reasons is housing affordability. The study shows the average value of a home rose from $154,000 in Winnipeg in 1991 to $348,000 30 years later. But affordability isn't the only reason for the disparity. The authors say younger generations are engaging in life-stretching or taking more time in stages of modern life, such as completing their post-secondary education, settling on a career, and having children. And realtors are seeing the culmination of these factors right here at home in Manitoba.
It's definitely the trend that we're seeing, that the average first-time home buyer's age is climbing. Just like you said, they are living at home a little bit more, saving up more for their down payment, and even having a partner there sometimes helps out too, to have the dual income. It's a lot tougher to do on a single income nowadays.
According to the report, only Vancouver and Toronto were higher than Winnipeg when it comes to millennials living with their parents. Health officials are trying to track people who had gotten off that cruise ship hit by a hantavirus outbreak. 3 people who were on the ship have died. The WHO says there are 8 cases, 3 of them confirmed. 3 people have been taken off the ship for treatment. There are still 146 people from 23 countries on board, including 4 Canadians. Experts are tracking an Andes strain of hantavirus, known for human-to-human transmission. People who have gotten off the ship have since landed in countries including Switzerland, the U.S., and the UK. Farmers in Alaska are trying to drive home a buy local message with their annual Drive Your Tractor to Work Day.
He likes to get his picture taken in the tire every year.
Well, these farmers apparently drive their tractors to work every day, and they held a small parade featuring 54 tractors ahead of a free potato giveaway. This is all part of promoting the $5 challenge. They're challenging people to try and spend at least $5 on local produce every time they go to the grocery store, because just 5% of produce in Alaska is locally sourced. Here's a look at traffic now along St. Mary's Road. It looks like things are moving quite well over here. No real delays to tell you about. If you see any issues out there, though, please let us know. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Emergency Preparedness Week and things that you need to keep in mind to be ready for any kind of emergency. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. We're joined by the City of Winnipeg's Marianne. We've got Sorsha from the Manitoba Eco Network. There we go. And Carolyn from the Canadian Red Cross. Now, that's a lot goes into keeping Manitobans safe. The City of Winnipeg is doing its part. Tell us a little bit about that.
So if you recall from last year, due to the wildfires, the City of Winnipeg had quite a few alerts for poor air quality. So what we've done is we've partnered up with the Canadian Red Cross and Manitoba Eco Network to host some workshops where residents can create their own DIY air purifiers. So by doing this, we're hoping that it'll build more resilience within the communities and giving people a more affordable solution.
And when it comes to that, break down the X's and O's of how it all works and what you want the public to know.
So the most important thing is to make sure that these units are being run at least for 12 hours a day in your house. You want to make sure that you have the proper grade air filter, so a MERV 13 air filter. Super important to make sure that it's the right filter grade to get like those small smoke particulates out of the air, to make sure that the air quality in your home is actually being improved as you're running the unit, and to just run the unit whenever you feel like, or whenever there's an air quality warning in the city. If you have to have your windows open, if your house is too hot, make sure that this thing's going to like keep that the air clean inside your home.
And the Climate Safe Green City Project is the name of it. Anything else you want people to know?
Yeah, so the Climate Safe Green City Project, the Manitoba Eco Network, we partner with 3 community organizations. We partner with the West Broadway Community Organization, with the Spence Neighborhood Organization Association, and the West End Resource Center. And so the important thing about this project is that any ideas that we have to kind of like build up climate resilience come from the community itself. So this was an idea that was brought to us by a community member in West Broadway. And luckily this research was brought to us then by members at SFU, Simon Fraser University, so we were able to bring their workshops over to Manitoba and run a couple of them for the community.
We have less than 30 seconds, so I don't know if we're going to get to Red Cross, but we have another segment, so maybe I'll try and squeeze everyone in a little bit just so that we can have all that information out. Also, we're meeting a dog. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Self-checkouts have opened the door to growing retail theft. CTV's Adrian Gobriel looks at how big the problem is.
Carts and bags full of stolen groceries.
It's a national issue. It's taking place right across the country.
A rise in five-finger discounts has Canadian grocery stores on high alert, using everything from body cameras on some staff to an increased number of security cams lining stores. Some grocers have even taken to placing their meat counter under lock and key.
Organized crime doesn't miss these opportunities.
Industry sources tell CTV News that thefts are being driven by a mix of economic pressure and increasingly organized retail crime. Grocery stores are reporting coordinated repeat thefts tied to criminal networks. The Retail Council of Canada has called retail crime a national crisis, with losses now approaching $10 billion annually across the grocery sector and growing. The RCMP in Richmond, BC say supermarket theft has doubled so far this year.
We have analysts, and when they see a spike like this, we have meetings every week.
In January, Ottawa police conducted Project Pantry at this downtown grocery store. Undercover officers charged a dozen people with 78 charges, with some thefts appearing to be coordinated.
Going to a car right away and giving that product to whoever's in the car in exchange for something.
Some self-checkout counters inside grocery stores are also being exploited.
Walmart in the States is pulling them out of a lot of their stores as we speak.
Just last August in Windsor, Ontario, more than $220,000 worth of beef was stolen from this parked tractor trailer. The large-scale heist, another example of a lucrative crime on the rise.
There are differing opinions as to where items like black market beef are ending up, though authorities do believe that some restaurants struggling to turn a profit are buying some of the stolen goods. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Beautiful bright blue sky hanging over the city now, which is a nice change up from the heavier clouds or the snow of the last couple of days. I'll take the sunshine any day, even though it has come with some colder temperatures. We had dropped as low as -6, but take a look at the gains that we have made in just this past hour. From -6, we've jumped to -1. Some places right at the freezing mark. Some folks have even pushed above the freezing mark, and we were all in those minus digits earlier on this morning, so improvements have already begun. Even up into northern Manitoba, you're now starting to make some gains, but the heavier clouds are still going to linger through parts of northeastern Manitoba, and in fact, more than clouds, you might see some scattered snow up in that northeastern stretch, whereas for the rest of us, it will be sunny and beautiful, because not only are we dealing with these temperatures that are on the rise and will end up warmer than they've been so far this week, but the winds have been on the lighter side too. too. And what a treat that is, because it seems so far this spring, if we do luck in with the warmer temperatures, we end up with intense winds as well. And that might not be the case today. Although, even though I'm talking about a great big warm up that'll put us up into the double digits, it's still nowhere near what is seasonal. 18 degrees, a normal daytime high, and we're going to top out at about 11 today. Could do a little bit better for tomorrow, 16 degrees. We will take it. Slightly cooler, back to those double digits, but at least still double digits with that sunshine through the weekend, and then perhaps getting closer to those more seasonal temperatures as we're pushing back up into the mid-teens or maybe even low 20s for next week.
Stock futures are holding gains, and Brent is falling for a third straight day as traders await updates on a potential U.S.-Iran peace deal that would reopen oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz. A big insider trading scandal is brewing south of the border. U.S. federal prosecutors allege lawyers from top U.S. mergers and acquisitions firms provided tips on some of the biggest deals of the last decade to an insider trading ring that made tens of millions of dollars in illegal profits. At least 30 people have been charged. Maple Leaf Foods reporting sales for the first quarter that beat the average analyst estimate. Sales totaled $962.9 million compared to the estimate of $940.6. Curtis Frank, President and Chief Executive Officer of Maple Leaf Foods, says our first quarter results reflect the disciplined execution of our strategic blueprint across the business. And Cascade's reporting sales for the first quarter that met the average analyst estimate as well. And those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Manitobans have a chance to get a front row seat to see some of our province's most talented carvers in action. The Prairie Canada Carvers Association is hosting its 2026 show and competition this weekend with 2 days of workshops, sales, and awards. And here to tell us more is Jean Mousseau, the association's Prairie Canada Vice Chair. Good morning, Jean. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Now, these are beautiful pieces. Not all of them are made by you. Which ones have you made?
I've specialized in carving fish.
Okay, so these fish here, for example.
Yeah.
This one too?
Yes.
The detail is incredible. How did you even get started in something like this?
Going back in 1999, I just happened to come across a book on fish carving, and I had a friend who was an avid fish carver, or fly fisherman out in Dauphin. So I can do that. So he still has that carving in his basement, and every time we go over there, I sort of hide my face. No, that's not mine. So I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I learn a lot by the mistakes, and I mentor people on how to carve fish, and yeah, it's a fun activity. That's how I got started. And
so you started it almost as a hobby, and now it's become, is it a competition for you? Is it a business venture?
No, it's not a business venture. It's still it's a hobby. It's a de-stressor.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it de-stress you?
You get lost in the shop for hours on end, and you just focus on what you're doing and have a good time doing it, you know.
That is incredible. Now, we've got some other pieces here. There's birds, there's ducks and loons, and these are, it takes a lot of concentration to create something like this, and there are going to be so many different beautiful art pieces there, right?
We'll have about, I think this year we have about 175 registered entries.
Okay.
And if it can be carved out of wood, bone, stone, or antler, it's probably going to be at our show.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a wide variety of stuff.
And are all considered art pieces, would you say, in your mind?
Yes, for sure, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's also workshops happening. So you brought some examples of this where you could actually learn how to do some carving on your own, right? You're going to be teaching this weekend.
Well, I will not be doing something personally, but there will be somebody out there teaching how to do those cranes.
These ones here?
Yes, and we're going to get you to do a little demo in a second.
Okay, let's get started on that because we're getting close to the...
This is pretty well ready, and then you're just going to take... Here, why don't you just put this on so we don't get to smear your clothes.
Okay.
Take a little bit of wax on that and rub it on.
Do I take the wax out or just rub it?
Just rub it on there.
Okay.
And it'll just make the finish pop.
Okay, so just rub it on. Oh yeah, I see that. And why do you put wax on this?
It's to help enhance the grain.
Okay.
And to seal the wood.
The other thing is, if you have pieces like this at home already, you should probably wax them once a year, right?
Well, it could be. I think it depends on the finish and depends on the product.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you want people to know that there's a competition also happening this weekend?
Yes. We have competitions. We have different categories.
Okay.
So obviously the ducks will not be judged against the fish and so on.
Oh, I see.
And then every category has different skill levels. We have novice, intermediate, and what we call open. And we also have one for juniors. And this little guy over here, this is my granddaughter's carving from last year. She was 12 years old when she did
12 years old and she did that?
Yeah. Yeah, so then she's been carving for maybe 6 years prior to that.
Okay, what's her name? She needs to get a plug here.
Casey Cope.
Oh, well, thank you, Casey, for sharing that beautiful piece with us. What do you want people to know? They're welcome to come check this out for themselves?
The venue is open at the Pembina Curling Club Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 4.
Yeah.
Tickets are available at the door. I think it's children 13 and under are free, and everybody else is $7 to get in.
You're also going to have some actual real animals there.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Sunday afternoon, I think from 11 to, I'm not sure when, the Wildlife Haven people will be out there with some live birds.
Yeah.
And for an educational thing, and people could come by and take pictures and
That's really
talk
neat
to people.
too.
Yeah.
So how did I do here?
You're doing really well. Yeah, so you
There
can
you
see how
go.
the grain sort of came out there.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah.
Again, if you want more information on what's happening this weekend, is both Saturday and Sunday. Look at my handiwork. Pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Thank you, Jean.
Hey, baby.
I'm almost as impressed with Rochelle's handiwork as I am with what Mother Nature is dishing up this morning, because she is bringing the goods, and it's what we've been waiting for, some sunshine and a nice little bit of a warm-up. Even though this morning was as cool as anything we've experienced so far this week, we were as low as -6. We're now sitting at -1, and we'll continue to make some very nice and impressive gains throughout the day today. And the winds are on the lighter side out of the north-northeast, just 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at 64%. Blue sky above. It's looking gorgeous. It's what we've been waiting for. It's certainly an improvement over the snow that we've been waking up to the past couple of days. And while the temperatures were a little bit cooler this morning, I mentioned we will make some nice gains and end up a little bit warmer than anything that we've enjoyed. Not that we've enjoyed much over the past few days. So double digits on tap for us into the afternoon. Southwestern Manitoba might even make it up into the mid-teens. And those are the kind of numbers that we could reach for tomorrow. So we will see some improvements throughout the rest of this week with a fair bit of sunshine, blue sky above. And that will last into the weekend, even if those temperatures dip slightly. Now, the one part of the province that won't likely enjoy as much sunshine as the rest of us is northeastern Manitoba, who will deal with some heavier clouds, maybe even a little bit of light and scattered snow. But for everybody else, a beautiful sunny day. Get out and make the most of it. It has been a while since we've had these conditions to enjoy. And a big thanks to Jody for sharing our weather picture with us today. A lovely spring scene. And we want to see more of your pictures, so send them to us to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
We're in the midst of Mental Health Week, a time when Canadians are invited to come together in a push to spark small, everyday actions of connection and to recognize the role we all play in supporting mental health through these bonds. Joining me now to share more is Stephen Sutherland, a Fund Development Manager at the Canadian Mental Health Association. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now tell us about Mental Health Week, what it's all about and why it's significant.
Well, every year, first week of May, CMHA across Canada, coast to coast to coast, we come together to promote our well-being, to promote how important it is for us to, whether we're at work or at school or at home, that we are looking after ourselves. So this year, we're asking Canada to come together to connect. And connection is all about how do we invest in one another? How do we invest in ourselves? And what does connection really look like for people? And so we're helping people understand what connection could look like so their mental health and well-being can improve.
Now, that's why you called this year's theme Strong Connections. So tell us a little bit about what we can do every day to not only support our mental health, but also those that we care about.
You know, in Canada, 13% of people are telling us that loneliness is something that they're struggling with and living with. And our older adults are experiencing that even at higher levels. And so what we want people to do is to have those conversations with people we trust, to be able to be in the grocery store and connect with that clerk. You know, how's your day going? How are you doing? The everyday conversations. I think digitally, often we will, you know, text somebody and we'll, you know, call somebody. But what would it look like if we knocked on somebody's door or rang somebody's bell and said, hey, you know, let's go for coffee. Let's have a conversation, a real conversation.
And there are so many people who live alone and some elderly people who live alone and might not have connections. So what can we do to help and support our elderly people?
Yeah, I think it's reaching out. I think a lot of folks, you know, whether you're in an assisted living or you're in a place where there's programs that are happening, what we want to say to families, caregivers, neighbors is to check in on people. You know, to be able to have those weekly check-ins or those every other day check-ins. It's really about having the conversation, starting it, continuing it, and amplifying that conversation throughout the year. Mental Health Week is 1 week, but we have mental health every day, 365 days a year.
And if you need a little bit more assistance, you can contact the CMHA for programs and services. Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and Manitoba Blue Cross. We could pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand in your pocket. Today's code word is grand. Head to the contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter grand with your info for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, your local trusted health benefits provider. Tune in tomorrow for another code word. Good luck.
Looking outside this morning, it's -1. Waking up to some sunshine, a nice change up from the snow the last couple of days. And a nice change up with these temperatures, with where they're headed, even though this morning was actually cooler than the last couple of days, but we're already making some gains. And the winds are on the lighter side. They're out of the north-northeast, 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, humidity at 64%. Yeah, if you just happen to be waking up now seeing -1, you're like, that's not so bad. It was as cool as -6 just an hour ago. So those gains are being made now because of all of this sunshine, which we can see pretty much blanketing the province, unlike the heavier clouds that we had blanketing the province for the past couple of days and bringing all of the scattered snow. Well, that could still be the situation up in the far northeastern part of the province. So there you'll have, yes, some clouds, maybe even temperatures that stay below the freezing mark, whereas most of us will be making some improvements with where the mercury is headed today. Improving as much as double digits, still nowhere near seasonal. 18 degrees would be a normal daytime high, but this is so much better than anything we've experienced so far this week, at least. So we're going to call it a win, especially with the conditions looking so beautiful and bright. A few extra clouds, though, will likely move in for the overnight hours. That's kind of good news, because what that does is stop us from falling below the freezing mark. When it's clear, it's colder, but with those clouds, we'll likely stay just above the freezing mark. 2 degrees, we'll take it, and then up to 16 tomorrow as those clouds move on out again. From there, the weekend is still looking like it'll be sunny, maybe a little bit cooler than the 16 degrees or the 18 that's seasonal, but we'll stay in those double digits with a little bit of a warm-up coming our way on the other side as we're looking ahead to next week.
With gas prices rising, some people are turning to unconventional methods of getting their hands on fuel.
They'll do it right here. They'll take a hole saw, they'll drill it in, and they'll stick a pipe in with a transfer pump, and it's done in minutes.
This mechanic southeast of Winnipeg says he's seen an uptick in cars being brought into his shop with damaged fuel tanks. The damage comes from people drilling directly into the tank and stealing the gas, a method he says is way faster than siphoning gas. The repair process is straightforward, but it's also costly and time-consuming. There's been recent similar cases elsewhere, including BC's interior and south of the border in the U.S. Meta has wiped out millions of followers in its latest bot purge. Celebs like Kylie Jenner and Cristiano Ronaldo have lost millions of followers in the sweep. Meta has yet to release an official statement, but it seems to be a routine process where Meta deletes bot and spam accounts from its platform. As a result, the followers followers on many accounts plunged. Kylie Jenner lost about 15 million followers, Taylor Swift about 5 million, and Cristiano Ronaldo, who still has the most followed account on Instagram, dropped from 673 million followers to 666 million. Airbus delivered good economic news. The plane manufacturer confirmed it landed a $19 billion deal to build a 220 aircraft on Canadian soil for low-cost carrier Air Asia. The planes will be assembled on Canadian soil, and the buyer says he could buy more planes if Airbus built a bigger version of the aircraft. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
The deal marks a big add-on to the Airbus order book, and floating in the air at the announcement, the prospect of yet another order for a larger plane. Malaysia-based low-cost carrier Air Asia signed on for the largest purchase of A220s in the manufacturer's history.
Air Asia is ordering 150 A220s for its major fleet renewal.
And all those planes are set to be assembled on Canadian soil. A multi-billion-dollar deal that will ripple through the economy.
Thank you for the trust you're placing in Canadian workers.
To Prime Minister Mark Carney, this is an example of the benefits of diversifying markets beyond the United States.
Countries that have the confidence to open up, to link their economies, to invest in their workers, to move forward, not turn back.
The A220 has a turbulent history. It was once Bombardier's C-Series, bailed out by Quebec, which still owns 25% of the program. Airbus has yet to break even and has faced delays getting the aircraft rolling off the assembly line. But it says it's ramping up production.
I bought Air Asia for 25 cents.
The head of Air Asia, entrepreneur Tony Fernandez, acknowledged he's taking a risk, buying just as the airline industry faces a jet fuel crisis. He expressed confidence in Airbus and Quebec's aerospace industry, which earned him a Montreal Canadiens jersey.
It's the 4,000 workers here in Mirabel that we appreciate all your hard work.
Fernandez also pushed Airbus to produce an elongated version of the long-range A220, saying if Airbus built it, he would add it to his fleet.
Rumors of this deal had been swirling for months, and Airbus faced stiff competition from rival Embraer before landing this big deal. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Mirabel, Quebec.
Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now along Portage Avenue at Polo Park. It looks like things are pretty smooth over here. We have no real issues to tell you about in this part of the city. Here's a look at your gas prices now. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.83. That's a slight drop from yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.64, found at 3 gas stations. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. We want to know what's one thing your mother always told you. If you have nothing good to say nothing. Share it, Susan. Kathy's mother always told the same. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Sylvie, my mom would always tell us that self-praise is no recommendation. And then we have Akni, who says, my mom would always say, make sure you have on clean underwear always. You never know what will happen. Good advice. Sandy shared one thing my mother always said to my sister and I, stop it, the both of you. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, shared Arlene. Keith says, my mother always used to say, don't put your sweater away till the middle of May. Teresa says, one thing my mom always told me was to never give up and never let anyone else take advantage of me. Randy Lee shared, catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar, and if you want something done right, do it yourself. While weeding flower beds, Kelly's mom would always say, if you leave it, it will grow. Marlene's mom always said, marry for love, not money. And for Phoebe and Felicity, our mom always tells us that she loves us. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
It's Emergency Preparedness Week, and Ainsley McPhail has a little puppy that she's going to tell us a little bit more on how you can be prepared. Hi, Ainsley.
Oh, prepared for a manicure. This is amazing. This is Rhonda. Look how stunning she is. And yeah, we're with Winnipeg Animal Services, and we're talking about emergency preparedness and how we can protect ourselves, but also our pets. So Rhonda is joining us, of course. Camille to my left, Zoe to my right. Tell us a little bit about her first.
Oh, Rhonda's amazing. Rhonda's about 7 years old. She came to the shelter as a stray with no owner, no ID, no license. So she's been with us about a month already. So 4 weeks in the shelter is a long time for a pretty girl like Rhonda to sit. Oh my goodness. She's pretty much perfect. She's house trained. She knows tricks. She's a good old gal. So I know people often want puppies, but this is like your entry level great dog who's just going to come into your house and fit perfectly. Happy to sit on the couch all day and watch Netflix with you.
Oh, that's amazing. When it comes to emergencies, when one does happen, you want to get the pet to the owner. What's the big message here?
Yeah, our officers are often out there responding to Winnipeg Fire Paramedic or Winnipeg Police calls. If someone has a medical event, our officers will go. If the dog's left behind, there's no other family to take care of it. So what we really like to see is when we check the home, our officers like to see someone who's licensed and has an emergency contact. Then that dog never has to come to the shelter environment, can go straight to someone's family member to get cared for while that person gets the help that they need. So really important for us to have that emergency contact and for the dog to not have to come to shelter.
And goodness forbid, there is a house fire. You want people to know that there's an animal inside. So you've got these.
That's right. So we worked with our friends at Fire Paramedic to develop emergency stickers. So this lets firefighters know if there is a fire in the home that there are pets to be looking for. So you can write right on there how many dogs, how many cats, how many birds or other creatures that the firefighters need to look for, and they'll do their very best to get them out of the home.
Yeah. Shelters, especially lately, really, really full, even puppies. If somebody is interested or even interested in volunteering and walking this little cutie, how can they do so?
Absolutely. So we have great programming at Winnipeg Animal Services. The Doggy Day program means that you can come and take a dog out for the day, give them a break from the shelter, get them some exposure for adoption. And businesses can participate too with our Business Buddies program. So business members can come and take the dog to the office for the day, get them some socialization, and hopefully get them an eventual forever home.
Thank you so much. Every time, Rochelle, I think that these dogs have some kind of sense when they see me because they just lay on me, give me hugs, give me kisses. They're telling me something.
Yeah, she's a sweet girl. I love her color. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. The sun is shining. How's it feeling out there?
It's feeling so good. Honestly, I'm probably going to be overdressed for my walk home, but this was the layer that I needed earlier this morning because it was actually cooler this morning than anything over the earlier part of the week, even though the conditions earlier this week, you remember the snow yesterday, the day before. This is a far better start to the day, but yes, it was colder. We had dropped as low as -6. We're making some gains now, sitting at -1 currently with just a light breeze. The winds at the moment are 5 kilometers per hour out of the north-northwest. The north-northeast, pardon me. The pressure is falling. The humidity is sitting at 64%. Blue sky and sunshine, and that'll be enjoyed through most of the province today. The exception to that will be the far northeastern part where heavier clouds and maybe some light and scattered snow will linger. And that's actually the one part of the province where the temperatures could stay just below the freezing mark. For everyone else, we will make some improvements over where we've been, but nobody's still getting to what is normal for this time of year, although I feel like this entire spring has, for the most part, been below seasonal. So relatively speaking, we don't have anything to be relative to except for the last couple of days when it's been cold and snowy. So this is a win. With the sunshine and double digits on tap today, it will feel pretty good. And it will get even warmer for tomorrow to finish off the work week. Taking a break, we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
With Canada gearing up for the FIFA World Cup, there are calls today for better protection against brain injuries, especially for young players. As CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, the charge is being led by the Concussion Legacy Foundation of Canada.
Kaya Gibson has been playing soccer since she was 4, and while she's a skilled player, she's had several concussions, the worst when she was in grade 5.
I was out of school for like a month and then out of soccer for, I think, over 5 months. It was a long time, so I had difficulty just like integrating back into school, and obviously I was off of screens for a long time, and I think it was mostly hard just from a social aspect.
What's really important for the public to understand is it's not just concussions. The primary risk factor on all this is the repetitive, non-concussive, cumulative impacts that somebody gets over the course of their career.
Former CFL player Tim Fleischer says if he knew as a youth what he knows now, he would have conducted his career differently and reduced the number of total brain impacts he had when he was a kid.
92% of Canadians support stronger rules to prevent brain injuries is an overwhelming statistic.
He's calling on Canada's top sports organizations to bring in strict standards to protect children's brains. Things like no heading the ball in soccer under age 13. Coach Tom Milligan says Oakville Futsal has banned heading for all its players under 18 for the past decade.
So yeah, you'll have the regular soccer or futsal type injuries, ankle, an ankle roll or a knee, might get their knees bumped. But outside that, there's been no head injuries that have occurred here.
Canada is behind countries like the UK in banning youth heading, and Oxford neuroscientist Holly Bridge says for young players, heading the ball is not a big part of the game.
The skill involved in actually getting your head to hit a football, those sort of anticipation skills that the brain needs to learn, actually they're quite difficult.
She says taking it out of the game also reduces the risk of head-to-head collisions that are also a big cause of brain trauma for players. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Nurses are true healthcare heroes, tirelessly answering the call to care for people in their time of need. And a group here in Manitoba that has hung up their scrubs for good, they're still doling out medicine of a different kind, music. Joining us now to share more is Bill Quinn and Kelly Thompson with the Winnipeg Nurses Choir. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, first of all, the Nurses Choir, when did that all begin?
2018, I retired from teaching, and my sister's a nurse, and she's in the choir. Said, why don't you start a nurses choir for fun? And I thought, hey, that sounds like a great idea. My wife is also a former nurse, ended up going into teaching, but worked for many years as a nurse, and so I knew I had 2 members to start, and we started with 17, and now we're up to 43 members that sing with us. Mostly retired, but we still have some working nurses as well.
And you practice on Mondays? Monday
nights at Balmoral Hall School in their performance studio. They're very supportive of us, giving us the space as a donation, which is really helpful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kelly, you were a nurse for almost 40 years, right?
Yeah.
You cared for patients, you loved caring for babies at one point as well. How did you move from nursing to singing in a choir?
I've always enjoyed music, always, and had sung in a church choir before. But there was just a period of time in life with working and family that belonging to a choir, I didn't really have the time for it. So I was very, very happy to be able to join the Winnipeg Nurses Choir when I retired in 2019. And I've been a part of it ever since then.
And what does it bring to your life?
It brings happiness and joy. I think it brings a better sense of wellness. There's so many benefits to singing, and there's amazing benefits to singing with a group of people that are very like-minded. When you're singing with a group of nurses who yourself have been focused on health and wellness and healing all your life, it's a wonderful experience. And even after practices and the performances, you just feel so good.
And you perform mainly in personal care homes. And what sort of reaction do you get from the people living there when they see you come in and you start singing to them?
It's very positive. They're very, very happy to see us. Many people are clapping along or singing along with us, and we've always been very, very well received.
You probably spark off some memories for them as well, right?
I think so.
Okay, so what do you want people to know about how they can join? Because you're always looking for new members.
We are, and sometimes we get nurses saying, well, I'm working, I work shifts. We're really flexible for people that are working, and of course retired nurses if they want to join us as well. We sing from September until May, and we're flexible, and you don't have to audition, you don't have to have any experience, you just like to sing. We'd love to have you.
And you're having a special concert for spring.
We are, yes. We always have a spring concert, so it's this coming Monday evening, May the 11th at 7 o'clock at Westworth United Church in River Heights, and it's by donation, whatever you would like to pay, and we always ask that people bring a tin for the bin for Harvest Manitoba. We've always supported them with all of our public concerts.
That's great. And what kind of music do you perform?
We do a real variety. We're focusing a bit on Canadian music this year, but we do folk music, we do Broadway, we do popular music, we do some light jazz and classical, so really something for everybody.
Kelly, what's your favorite type of music to sing?
Bill and I were talking, I love Broadway musicals,
Okay.
so any chance we have an opportunity to do that, I really enjoy it.
So if people want to check out your show on Monday, where do they go?
They go to Westworth United Church, which is 1750 Grosvenor Avenue in River Heights, 7 p.m. And like I say, buy donation and bring it in for the bin.
Perfect. All right. And if you want more information, we do have a link on our website as well. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, Kelly, I'm right there with you. I love the Broadway musicals, too. I love them. I will come and watch anything that gets you singing along like that. All right, outside this morning, it's a beautiful start to your day, -1 right now with those north-northeast winds, 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 64%. Blue sky and sunshine. Talk about something to sing about there. It is gorgeous out there this morning, if not still a little bit cool. We've had these below seasonal temperatures. Well, they've been hanging around all week, but a huge improvement in at least the conditions, but also with where the temperatures are headed. So yes, we get to have the sunshine back, and that's a beautiful change up compared to the snow the past couple of days, and headed up into the double digits. Big improvement over the low single digits over the past couple of days. Now tomorrow we might even make it up into the mid-teens. High teens is normal, around 18 degrees, and we'll fall from that over the weekend, but the sun will just keep shining for us. And then for next week, a slight improvement again as the mercury climbs a little higher, and we might reach seasonal temps by the middle of the week. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, Terry, most people like singing at church because they know they won't be judged unless you sound like this. This man was told to stop singing by the person sitting beside him. Here he is giving his family an example of what he sounded like when he was shushed at church. Although a little embarrassed, the big bass singer kept belting out the song Gloria for all to hear.
Well, to be honest, if he was singing Christmas carols in May, I'd shush him too.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Well, now to a sport that's jumping in popularity.
What?
Check out these professional skippers. Each member of the team moves as one, and you can barely see the rope because they're moving so fast. Not sure what's harder, being the jumper or the one handling the rope. Look at his arms go. Oh my gosh.
My goodness.
And then finally, an epic kitchen fail. This cake pan inspired Carol to bake her athletic husband a Superman sweet treat. Sadly, the final product looked more like a sumo wrestler than a bodybuilder. That's brilliant. I want to see the cake again. Come on, show us the cake one more time. There it is.
I need it. Yes, please. I'll have seconds.
Yes. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.